Greetings, everybody. Anybody? I'm tired of the circle jerk, and I've decided to not create my own channel. I've created a managed channel, so it's a community channel, and it's not my own because I can't manage my own channel. So I've done all the proper things and recalled it Discuss. I'm Zysis, and I like talking about a lot of different variations of things, from conspiracies to the sciences to latest news to all kinds of stuff. So sit around the fire with me and enjoy. Come in, tell your stories. There's some basic little rules that I don't, I obviously I don't want trolls. You're going to have to actually contact me via Google Plus to join. But at the same time, I will respectfully enjoy the stories that anyone has to tell and points of view. It's not a debating channel, and it's not a circle jerk. I get tired of the circle jerks that I'm seeing. They bore me, and it's the same old every day with little to no variation and creativity. People tend to Google knowledge and pretend they have knowledge, by just Googling, which is uninteresting to me. Anyone can do that. All you need is strong Google foo, and it's kind of boring. I tend to talk from the mind, with a broad sense of general knowledge. I certainly don't pretend to know everything or anything for that matter. I like to listen to different characters speak. Welcome, Harry Balzak.
Yeah, what's up?
You are double speaks. Well, I'm going to present you to everyone because we all love the camera image. It's nice to be away from it because it gets pretty old. Both sides as well. We come from flat Earth debates style, and it's not really my scene anymore. I'm worn out on it. It's the same old every day, and it just becomes a circle jerk for people to abuse those with sometimes mental conditions and sometimes just a uninformed view of reality. But generally, people do have the feeling that there's something wrong. There's manipulations going on, and in the age of information, I think that they have a definite truth or some sort of inclination that things are going bad, or it's just a reflection of the sign of the times, I think. And to that degree, people have valid points of view, in regards to conspiracy and stuff like that. I mean, a fool would like to believe that things aren't able to be conspired and that, everything's all honest, where it's not true. So yeah, I'll get you that link in a second, so we can look at the chat if anyone shows up, and I'll start linking that around so people can come and have a look and get it. I've been asked to do this basically. A lot of people have asked me to actually get away from, Earth discussions, flat Earth debates, flat Earth, and I don't think that I've got a fan base as such, but I certainly don't like the way things go in those styles, in those channels. And Harry's the same as me, where it's just a big trolling session. But one thing I was reading about today, I like reading about my new sciences, and an Aussie guy has gotten waste fruit and vegetables and managed to extract water from it. We used to actually, we still in manufacturing, we make juices and preserves and stuff from, waste fruits and vegetables. But the side effect of that manufacturing was actually a massive amount of water. And in a drought-stricken country like Australia, it's a valuable resource, and it's pure, clean water, and it's actually really, really good for you. And it's considered one of the most palatable waters because it's a non-mineralized water. And it actually is a very top-end, I guess, foodie thing, and that's cracking brand new. There's a microbiologist behind it all. He's also a vinaigrette, like works in vineyards, and he's created a brand of water. And I'm not plugging a product or anything, but it's an exciting science to me where we're actually getting waste products and extracting the water. So there is no actual waste, and that's pretty cool, I thought. Yeah, and it actually ends up being a really good water, and it's really efficient to actually get the water from, because it's a side effect of manufacturing. They used to just dispose of the water for, say, making preserves like jams or jellies if you're American, but yeah, and making food products like the strips, the kids food strips and stuff like that. There's a lot of food manufacturing where they use unsellable fruit and vegetables because it's off the shelf, and they reassign it. I guess I don't know what you call it, but they recycle it and usually
Repurpose.
repurpose it. Thank you. Yeah, and that's really cool. So there's this bottled water, and it's probably only in Australia right now, but it's certainly going to chain react. And he's already received a lot of awards for it. And this is cutting edge. Like, this is like 3 days ago. So yeah, I think that's really cool. That instead of just throwing fruit and veggies out, or wasting the water, they're actually bottling it and realizing. And it wasn't intended for it to be this really soft, very palatable water. And the way it reacts with your palate when you're eating, it enhances the flavors. And apparently it's really good to drink with alcohol and use for ice cubes and stuff like that. Because, like I said, it's a non-mineralized water. So it's pretty damn cool. Me, I love to just carry on about these kinds of things. I can't help myself. I always stumble into something or other. It's always something new.
Well, on the flip side, I heard a lot of Middle Eastern countries are running out of water. Like Qatar, they're
Yeah.
sucking up their groundwater like 10 times the rate that it is replenished every year.
Yeah, Israel's actually consumed. There is no groundwater left in Israel, and you can see those great big groundwater crops, the big circles, and you can see them all dead, pretty much. The ones that are still going are actually they truck the water in. And truth be known, that water, they did the costings, the logistics of water in Israel. And so much for the Holy Land, right? Water actually costs more in Israel per litre than petroleum, because of the cost of actually the logistical cost of bringing the water in. And they're looking at desalinization and all kinds of things, but as it stands, they're trucking water in by the bucket load, and they're actually trucking sewage out and dumping it in the ocean via trucks, which is hugely inefficient. So yeah, Israel's got to clean up their act, and same with Qatar and Dubai. They're all doing it. And there's, when I was in Dubai, I wasn't there when there was a lot of stupidity going on, but I was there many, many years ago, about 15 years ago, or 20 years ago, yeah. And there's like condoms washing up on the beach and crap like that. I don't know if they've cleaned up their act since, but yeah. How horrific is that? They're trying to sell tourism. There's used condoms and tampons and stuff just lying around on the beach because they pump raw sewage just straight into the ocean. That's disgusting. And these people are paying like, I think it's $300,000 per acre of that sandy created land, and it's filthy. Yeah. There's a lot of lies told about Dubai. Slave labor and stealing of passports, and yeah, KFC workers going on strike and being deported for it. Yeah,
I thought that was Qatar, where they ship people in from like really, really impoverished countries like India, and they promise them good wages, and then when they get there, they take their passport and they're like, actually, we're not going to really pay you anything. You're like a slave.
That's Dubai. Yeah, Qatar's cleaned up their act with that, but they probably still do it. But yeah, Dubai definitely. Yeah, they're guilty of that for sure. Yeah, there's a lot of British expats that exposed all of that because when they were working on the the Caliph, the tower there, the big tower. A lot of British engineers working on it, and they actually exposed it. They were photographing the labourers, the workers, working on that building, coming in, and there was accidents happening where there was no safety and stuff like that. They were cutting corners, and yeah. There was an English guy, and he was vilified for it by the media. Like, how dare you say that about the Great Dubai, this wonderful jewel in the desert? And it's the epitome of capitalism, and it's almost worse than Egypt would ever be. During the time
Well,
of
it's like Louis C.K. said. How did we build that amazing thing? Well, we just threw human death and suffering at it until it was complete.
yeah. It's like Obama's wife said, and that was controversial. America's a house built with slaves. Yeah, something like that.
There's no limits to what you can do when you don't give a fuck about particular people.
Yeah, there's actually, you don't have to care one bit when you've got a bunch of slaves running the show, or when you don't have to pay anyone anything. It's horrifying.
Like the pyramids, that shit's just mind-blowing how that was constructed. It almost doesn't even seem logistical, carrying up all those buckets of water. But I guess if you have enough slaves, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird how the Egyptian hierarchy worked, and there's never the truth is told about it, because there were volunteers as well as slaves. Like, the volunteers were given the promise of position, similar to what happens in the corruption of society today. We're living in a quasi-Roman Egyptian sort of, dichotomy in a way. What we're living in our society, what we consider a democratic society, is not. So, the media say, in the media, they're promised positions of power and influence and affluence, to keep their mouth shut and follow a certain narrative. So the slaves, which is the general population, are cordoned and controlled and herded in such a way. And that's why media outlets will never actually tell any kind of a truth that doesn't want to be told, because, they're given promises of your kids will be this, and, yada, yada, yada. And a lot of those systems of fame and music especially, and acting and all that, is the rewards that people, so it's not like Joe Blog off the street can audition and get a part. That part is specifically chosen for the son of yada yada, or the daughter of yada yada, who for his entire life played the narrative perfectly and was very obedient. Yeah, and there's an insight into the entertainment industry that no one really knows about. Like, not many anyway. Most people would deny it. They'll pretend that they know and go, oh, no, it's all about talent and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, bullshit. Yeah, hardly the most talented people selected for the highest high-profile roles. Arnold Schwarzenegger is actually a good example of that. What appears to be, to me, and there's a conspiracy behind Schwarzenegger, believe it or not. If you look at him when he's quite young, he seems to be a human growth hormone experiment, a Nazi super soldier, Schwarzenegger. Yeah. How do I know that? Human growth hormone, the gap between the teeth. Everything grows with human growth hormone, including your skull. Not just your muscles, but your bones too. And your skull structure grows, and you get a gap between your teeth. And that's a sure sign of early human growth hormone use in children. So, yeah, I'm sure Swartzy had some needles in the bum, and he was a skinny little geek. And someone said, hey, do you want to be Captain America? And he's like, sure. And it's funny because you look at all of his friends, Andre the Giant, human growth hormones, Jesse the Body Ventura, human growth hormones. The list goes on and on and on. And there's another really interesting thing about that, about Schwartzy. His date of birth. Conspiracy people, get your aluminum hats on. 1947. Roswell crash date. And that's it's, you can say, oh, it's just a coincidence. Is it? I don't know. But it's kind of eerie when you actually look at birth dates of people, of stars and famous people born in 1947. A friend of mine who was a cameraman pointed all this out to me, and he was right into some pretty obscure stuff, but I don't know. He always left me wondering, that smart ass. I hate people that do that. It's like he's hinting at something that he knows, or he's pretending that he knows, and he just keeps hinting at something. But yeah. Um, Steven Spielberg, 1947. And you can look it up. It's quite a good list of 1947s. I wonder if Jack Nicholson's born 1947. I know Stanley Kubrick isn't. He was much older than that, wasn't he? Yeah. That's real conspiracy speak, isn't it? But it's interesting. It is interesting. Being that the Nazi Party had the Übermensch program, and methamphetamine was a result of it, or pseudoephedrine, if you like, of creating these super soldiers. I remember a story I was told by that cameraman how the German army researched keeping themselves not freezing. They wanted to create antifreeze for blood, so you could inject yourself with antifreeze. And they found that the Eskimos, how they hang the fish on the rod, they would freeze, but then they'd take they hang them like a clothesline type thing, and they hang these fish, they peg them along this stick, and sometimes they'd take the fish, frozen fish, and throw it on the fry pan, and it'd start flipping around on the fry pan. Yeah. But yeah, they realized that certain fish wouldn't freeze because they live in frozen water, and so they wanted to create this antifreeze fluid and put it in your blood so they could take on the Russians. Obviously they didn't succeed, but were they close? Yeah. And if people think, oh, that's crap, what you think that's not worthy of scientific pursuit, don't fool yourself. Of course it is. You look into stuff like superfluids and what do we call it? Ferrofluids. There's some very interesting things out there, and you can get 1963, um, your Wolverines and you know weird mutants. Yeah, some really strange stories out there that all seem to appear around the same time. Very strange, very very strange. But yeah, that water looks really good. I can't wait to get some. Um, I was reading about all the vodkas of the world because I tried that the Crystal Skull, something Crystal Soul or something vodka. I've got the bottle because it was a Crystal Skull. There's a guy talking about that the other week, and I thought I'd try it out, and it's garbage. The vodka in it, like it's really expensive and it's quite shit because we have a vodka produced here in Tasmania, and it's made. I think it's called Cape Horn or Cape something, and it's the purest water in the world and the cleanest air in the world down in Tasmania. And they make this vodka, and they only make a certain amount every year. And it's not expensive. It's actually not expensive because it's not popular. But oh god, it's like liquid silk. It's amazing. Yeah, and it's a wheat and rye based vodka. It's not potato vodka. Most of the cheap vodkas are potato vodkas, and they're kind of yuck. They've got that blandy kind of tasteless. It's like you're drinking methylated spirits or something. Which is, I was told that they poison methylated spirits, and if you were to remove the poison from methylated spirits, it'd taste like Southern Comfort. I don't know if that's true or not, but ew, Southern Comfort is the worst drunk you could ever get. Worst hangover. The fur in the mouth is just unbearable. But we shall find some people for the channels, um, which I shall do now. Let people know.
I'm pretty tired. Stay up for a while, but I gotta pass out in like an hour.
If you need to go, go. Don't let me
I
keep you
will.
awake. It's funny how in some of these channels people feel obligated to sort of stay awake and keep the narrative going. And I'll jump into one of the channels and they're like, "Oh, good, you're here. Now I can go to the toilet." And it's like, what the fuck is your malfunction, man? It's like, seriously, what is wrong with you that you need to, like, you know, just suddenly feel like you got to talk for someone? Yuck. That's icky. But I'll get someone in here to. Well, I'll start my little chain reaction of people who wanted me to actually get away from the silliness that is Earth discussions, flat Earth discussions, blah 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 blah. Can't be bothered. Cannot be bothered. Says ad blocker. I love talking to ad blocker. He's fun. Actually, more sense than most.
Yeah, it's cool. I love it when he calls
Yeah,
people jabroni.
jabroni. Oh, is that what's that? Norse. Oh yeah, that's IP Viking. Yeah, yep. That's the DDoS attacks. Yeah,
Yeah, pretty
yeah,
much all cyber attacks.
yeah. Well, what you're actually seeing is that's the fast one. I've actually got a really massive international one because it's done by Hewlett Packard, and it's basically there's in any Dell server. So instead of doing norsecorp.com, because this is a filtered, pretty crappy one, but you do ipviking.com, and ipviking it'll show like massive, like your computer will actually lag because of the amount of DDoS attacks going on. This is sort of your entry level one, but this is what they were looking at. This is the kind of maps they're looking at NORAD 20 years ago, but they're all honeypots. Yeah. And you can see, if you actually look at this, you'll see attacker. Look at the attackers. You'll see Microsoft Corporation, Microsoft Corporation. Yeah. You'll see Microsoft doing attacks on each other. It's actually just them pinging their own honeypots and checking their own resistances. So this one's a bit of a circle jerk. I created a new channel. So yeah, eventually the agent provocateurs will find us, but I'm well prepared for their little dialogue because they're fairly trivial to see through, um, and they bore me because they're unintellectual and they're uncreative. They're kind of drones. The fact that they'll just sit there and argue the same thing over and over and over every single day reveals what they really are if you bother to actually pay attention. And then but it just takes a provocateur to start something, and then it just chain reacts and it's metastasized into this, you know. But you'll see them. You see basically people showing up trying to create a narrative, saying, "Oh, let's talk about this piece of bullshit," and it's like, nah, not interested. See ya.
Well, there's absolutely no point arguing with flat earthers. It just doesn't do any good. So I don't know why they seem so obsessed with it.
Well, I mean, I could sit here and attack certain people. The last thing I listened to was someone manufacturing a total fallacy, and it was ironic that he was talking about philosophy and arguments within philosophy, and was completely wrong. He was actually making it up or basing it on very limited information. But the fact that he was saying that arguments in philosophy or fallacies of philosophy or debating are based on induction and deduction, it's like, huh? Or was it injection or something? But he was wrong. He was completely false. And they're all patting him on the back saying, yeah, 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 boss. All good, boss. You know, you say all the right stuff every time, boss. You're never wrong. Actually, you're completely wrong, but let's pretend that you're right, shall we? So yeah, I'm sick of that kind of circle jerk where they're going to jump down the throat of a guy who's mentally ill, yet pat each other on the back when they're totally wrong themselves. And that to me is, it's lying basically, but it's not just lying. It's, you know, if you're there trying to teach people stuff, at least get your facts straight. You know what I mean? Because kids could be watching and you're giving them false info and they rely on you to give them actual good information. So, yeah, you don't want to lead people down the garden path, so to speak. But yeah, reductive and deductive arguments are a well-known thing amongst debating. Um, yeah. What was it? Debating structure or strategies. No, it's actually not debating strategies. Debating format. Debating um, format. Debating format.
You guys have atomic warheads in Australia?
Yeah. Yep.
I just ate one. It's the first
Oh.
time since I was like fucking 14.
Oh.
Delicious.
Yeah, like philosophical debates and like argumentative debates are pointless because there's no. I forget all the terms now. It's been a very, very long time. It's been not since high school, but I was a young liberal, and I was right into debating right from the onset of high school. Basically, my first debate was like, should women be treated equally to men? And you know, I was on the four team against my own friends, and my friend, you know, he was like, women should be for breeding purposes only, and it's like, holy shit, okay, you just, and I raped him, I eviscerated the guy, and he knew it, like he knew that he was debating a false ideology, but yeah, those kind of debates where there is a right or wrong are the ones I'm interested in, but philosophical debates are crap. Yeah. What is it? Argumentum, types of argument, I think it is. Argument types. There are several kinds of arguments in logic, best known of which is deductive and inductive. I knew that much. And, you know, you deduce or you induce. So you create an argument or create a point, or you deduce someone else's point. So you break apart a point someone makes, or you introduce a new point to be broken apart, to be deduced by the opposing team. But the conclusion of any debate should ascertain who is the truth bearer or truth candidate. And truth candidates are capable of being true or false. Like a truth candidate is capable of being false, but they're not. You can't be both. Yeah, it's interesting the way it works, but it's the logical format for debating. Yeah. So you have deductive, strong and weak, and then, or inductive, sorry, is strong and weak. So like you can introduce an argument that's either strong or weak, or you can deduce an argument to be valid or invalid. And then you have through valid and invalid arguments, you have sound and unsound, or sound and cogent, and then under strong and weak arguments or strong and weak inductions, you have uncogent and cogent. Yeah. So yeah, and when you know the debate format and structure, you can actually rip someone apart. If they don't know how to debate effectively, you can even be debating a lie and win, because people don't know how to make cogent points, and they don't know how to make a sound deduction. Yeah. Interesting, yeah. So in proper debate format, you can actually debate any subject and win, provided that you actually know how to attack, or well, you know how to deduce or induce different formats, different forms of argument. And then you have the Greek philosophical applications, which everyone seems to rely on in these flat Earth debates and all of these flat Earth topics. Is they use the Greek terms, like ad hominem and all these kinds of terms, but that's only in terms of philosophical debate. They don't apply in proper argument terminology at all. You either have cogent, uncogent, sound, or unsound. There is no other. You can't say, oh, that's an ad hominem, or that's a straw man, because that's poor debating. And you can go into, I could go into the real technicals of that because I'm actually remembering it all. But yeah, you can't just say, oh, that's false, and it doesn't make it a point false. You can't say, oh, that's a straw man. You're straw manning. You can straw man all you like. You have to actually then deduce it and make it into an unsound argument. By calling it a straw man, that's only recognizing the format of the debate, but it's not actually deducing it at all. Yeah, and people think by calling something a straw man, they've deducted it, but they haven't. They've only called the format of which it's presented. And you can, their induction is that terminology. It's all very interesting. So I got sick of that. I got sick of amateur debaters. I like to be a master debater. And so, yeah, I'm out of it. I'm bored of it, and they bore me. They're uninteresting, uncreative, and unintellectual people. So, no. Sorry, guys, if I offend, but that's just the way you are. And I make lots of fallacies, and I make lots of mistakes, and I don't care. I'm human. I'm not a fucking robot. I don't care if I'm wrong. I enjoy being wrong. And I enjoy it when I'm right, too.
I'm a robot.
Well, we know that. You're a lamp with a freaking sticker on it. I mean, look at you. You never move. So, yeah. Oh, we've got an audience member. Yay. I'll start spreading the word. And I'm not trying to snipe people's bloody... They can stay there. I don't want them to come here. I don't want that audience here at all. I don't care for it. But if people are interested in the stuff I talk about, that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to rant about my shit and not be interrupted by, oh, the earth is flat. Because, there's been I go off a 3-strike policy. I play baseball when I talk. And, 3 strikes, you're out. And I do that to myself as well. You strike me out 3 times, I'm out. I'm left, I'm gone. And I hung around there for a little bit because I thought I could, change the narrative, but I've realized I can't. For example, yesterday I was in the middle of talking about something really cool, what I thought was really cool and interesting. And even people said to me, man, that was really cool and interesting. But a dude comes in and goes, the earth is a fell. And suddenly 7 people pipe up and start man-piling him. And I'm just drowned out by the crowd. So yeah, I'll walk away from that because it's pointless to me. It's become a pointless circle jerk. So not into it.
Hey, you should come to New Mexico with me, and we'll find this guy's treasure.
Treasure? New Mexico?
Yeah, some guy buried a bunch of treasure in New Mexico, and there's you have to follow some shitty poem to find it.
I bet it leads you to a fucking bathtub full of ice. Which is actually a myth. No one on the planet has ever woken up with a bathtub full of ice with their kidneys missing.
I bet somebody has at some point.
No, it's never been reported in any medical
documented. Report. But yeah, this guy's some millionaire in New Mexico, and he's really old.
Oh, really? Oh man, I want to see this.
and he buried treasure and made like
Can I have link?
a hint poem. Yeah.
A
Linking now.
poem. Damn it! I've got to see this. I like to think that I could solve, but I know I probably can't.
I don't have mods in the channel. Can't post links out there.
Oh, hang on. Let me fix all that. I don't know if you get control room automatically, but we'll soon find out. No, you bloody don't. They'll encourage you to start up stuff. Well, if you talk out there, if you speak, then I can just say boo, and I can click on ya. Can cluke. Hey. Well, we've made that a moderator. Now you've got to change back to Harry in YouTube's. Because that's discuss. Which is weird. Let's see if we can get Ad over here. All right, let's have a look at this poem. New Mexico millionaire and art collector. Oh, this is right up my alley. Forrest Fenn has quite the ploy to get people off the couch and out in the world, building human connections. Oh, shit, and there's the pot of gold? Somewhere in the Rocky Mountains, the cache contains mostly American eagles and double eagles, hundreds of gold nuggets, and some as large as chicken eggs. What the fuck? Pre-Columbian gold animal artifacts, lots of rubies, emeralds, sapphires, and diamonds, and other things. Dude, we've got to do this. The thrill of the chase. Former Vietnam pilot came up with the treasure when he was diagnosed with terminal kidney cancer in 1988, according to the Canadian publication The National Post. It could be, okay. As I've gone alone in there, and with my treasures bold, I can keep my secret where and hint of riches new and old. Begin it where warm waters halt, and take it in the canyon down, not far, but too far to walk. Put in below the home of Brown. From there it's no place for the meek. The end is ever drawing nigh. There'll be no paddle up your creek, just heavy loads and water high. If you've been wise and found the blaze, look quickly down your quest to cease, but tarry scant with marvel gaze. Just take the chest and go in peace.
This is that that treasure map, Brett.
Yeah. Hey Ed, what's up?
What's going on, man?
Damn, that is cool as shit.
What's up, Ed? Is that Ed?
Yeah, what's up, man?
You got a different avatar now.
No, this is some sprite art I was working on. I got Thor's over here, and then supposed to be Kara right here. And I got Zysis over here.
What?
No Balzak. Not cool enough.
I don't know what to do with Balzak.
Where am I?
Over here.
Am I that blonde thing?
Yeah, man.
Oh, what the hell?
Well, this is just.
I'm like.
Looks more like me.
This is preliminary, but I mean, it's got the scar right here,
Oh, look at that.
right? Yeah.
If I squint a bit, I can see it, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
And I know you have blonde hair. It's kind of shaggy, so I might do some more here.
Yeah, it's kind of golden brown, I guess. It's more brown than blonde, but
Oh,
okay.
All right. Well, I can change that later.
Dirty blonde.
Who's the R and the N? QRN.
Uh,
Quartus?
Rumpus, Negator.
Negator? Okay. The
Yeah.
Orco.
What's that?
The Orco.
Orco?
Yeah.
What's
Orco
that?
from He-Man.
Yeah.
He-Man cartoon.
I just used the Black Mage thing from Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is Final Fantasy 1 or 2. It's one of those.
Who's the pregnant chick with the purple
Yeah,
backpack?
like I need to do something about the stomach. Like I've
That looks cool. Who's that? Is that
well,
Kara?
I'll show you what it looks like when I erase the
Well,
the
Kara, you know, I don't
yeah,
want. I look. You're forcing my hand here.
yeah, I know.
She needs to be a little bit thicker. Just saying.
Thicker. Well,
Yeah.
okay, hold on.
Bit chunkier. She's a chunky monkey.
It's an avatar.
Oh, look at
There's
that.
one
That's
little
it's pretty good.
dot, and then you got something going on. But yeah, I might do a little bit more green rather than the light green.
Damn, what is this program that you're using? A sprite generator or something?
No, I made a brush, just a brush that does squares.
Is this Photoshop or something? No, it's not. It's GIMP.
Right.
Okay. You know, you could cheat with that.
Programming it or something.
Just by creating a low res image to begin with, so you can only work with so many pixels. You know, so you'd make it like, you know, however many pixels high by however many pixels long.
Right. Like it actually snaps when you're using this a little bit. I think you can increase the snap, but I don't really know how yet. But you can kind of see that it's doing a little bit of a snapping here. You know. But with like
Yeah.
when I change it to paintbrush, it doesn't snap like that.
I'm gonna have to get you some Photoshop, I think.
Yeah. The thing is, this is free, and like I don't need a license for it.
Photoshop's free, man.
Well, if you pirate it, yeah. Like
It's no trouble to pirate it. Trust me.
well, I know
I've
that.
pirated
Like,
it for many friends.
yeah.
Basically, everyone who I've built computers for asked me, "Hey, can I get Photoshop too?" And I'm like, "Dude, I'll give you the full Adobe suite, no problem."
Right.
Yeah. I can hook you up with that in like minutes. You'd have to disconnect your internet to install it, though. It's simple instructions, but it's done by one of the best crackers on the planet. So,
Well, I've done that before, but like I said, like I don't need a licensing. Like if I do something with this, like I don't have to worry about some jabroni reporting me for having an unlicensed copy.
yeah, they can't. They really can't. Because, yeah, there's certain laws that can be twisted because you're not stealing, you're copying.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And because you're not profiting from it, it doesn't fall under copyright law. It's under fair use.
Right.
Yeah, which is something actually that I dealt with today. I know a little bit about copyright, just a little bit. But I went and did a bunch of copyright stuff today. Copyright releases. Not that I'm a copyright lawyer, but yeah.
Mm. But no, I'm actually kind of happy with GIMP.
Yeah, GIMP's not bad. Yeah.
Right.
I
don't know.
like the Thor. The Thor's really good, man.
I just
really
used his avatar, and I just went pixel by pixel.
Well, that's copyright because that's not the Thor that, that's the Marvel version of Thor.
Oh no,
It's the accepted notion of Thor anyway.
Right. Well, I don't think the Marvel version has like a stomach like this.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Well, the Marvel version of Thor, believe it or not, is a woman now. I think she's still a woman. Yeah. Because Thor's just a being of energy that a mortal, which is Odin. He met like all these beings made of energy, and whatever he told them they were, they became. It's a really tripped out story. And while he sits in Asgard, he's immortal. Like he can't die. He doesn't, because it's a place where time doesn't flow very fast at all.
Mm-hmm.
So he's tricked all these like omnipotent beings. He hasn't tricked them. He's just told them what they are. So they are.
Yeah.
It's a really cool story, actually.
Yeah, I met somebody. I talk about him pretty frequently. well, fairly frequently. God, what's his fucking name now? Ocean Keltoy, who comes
Yep.
on the Hangouts. Like, and I told him I was going to go read some of the old sagas surrounding Odin and Thor and all them. And I
Oh
haven't
yeah,
done it
yeah.
yet, but I haven't had any fucking time to do it.
Well, a lot of the stuff you read is it's what you're looking for is the Poetic Edda, Edda.
Right.
And that's when the French went to the Icelandic and wrote down basically all of the Norse myth that they could. And a lot of it's diluted in some ways, but yeah, it's pretty factual as far as the lore goes. But the Poetic Edda is the best place where you'll get, from the horse's mouth, so to speak. They won't romanticize too much of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But
would want to.
you'd love a lot of the stories, man. Like some of it's fucking brutal as fuck. Like I don't know if you know the creation of the Asgardians, but they actually murdered their father. Like the whole story starts with murdering their father because their father consumes them. But it's not the Asgardians that do it; it's the Aesir. Yeah, it's a really cool story, though.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'd want to get the one that's not what do you call it, romanticized. Like, I would want to get
Yeah,
like the authentic text.
yeah. You want to get the good stuff. The Poetic Edda talks about a lot of the good stuff, but there's a little bit of romanticization in it. But I guess they had a bit of a creative license,
Mm-hmm. I forget what Ocean told me to go read now. That's why you need to write down shit.
Yep.
It was something like the sagas or something like that, and I just like the name of the sagas. Like, I like saga better than like an adventure or a story
Crusade or
or
yeah.
quest. Like, I like this. I just think that's
Yep.
a lot better. Is this a better tone, or is this still too blonde?
It's pretty blonde for me. It is anyway. It's more I guess, but hey, you've got creative license. You can do as you please. I like that you give me some sort of crocodile suit. I don't know what that is, but
Right. Well, originally this was. I lost the window for this. There's. Oh, it's still over here. Okay. There you go. This is Cloud Strife. I'm doing on top of it. So
who's
this is
that?
Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, nice. I'm Cloud.
Yeah.
Damn, that's cool as shit. We can be
Yeah.
friends now.
But I saw you more as like a not like a mage really. It was just somebody who was kind of ready to just a little bit more human. Somebody who would approach the more human sides of things. So you're more like a human rather than a mage who likes to talk about like the programming or the mathematics.
Yeah, I always prided myself in the flat earth debates as being approachable and practical. I offered practical stuff for the individual to take with them, not some sort of pseudoscientific or overly complex narrative that kind of people don't gel with it. Like they just hear a bunch of words and go, that sounds really cool, but it doesn't really apply to me. I always like to dumb it down a lot.
What color are your eyes, by the way?
Green.
Green. Okay.
Well,
that might not mesh well.
It's
with
going to
the,
screw everything up. I know.
Oops. Oops, that's not green.
See, the way I'd approach this.
Actually, that looks nice. I don't mind that.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all. You can make one of the top pixels brown because they're kind of like hazily, but weird. I got weird color eyes.
Okay.
See, the way I'd approach this is just pixel to pixel.
Mm-hmm.
So there'd be no.
I mean, it kind of is when you zoom in close enough because this is sort of like one pixel, like right there, and I can, we zoom in close enough. Like there's, I mean, this is 4 by 4 right here. Like 1, 2, 3, 4. Um,
Actual
which is,
pixels.
well, the actual pixel. I
Hmm.
mean, you would have to go all the way down. Like this would be like, I guess this would be like 1 pixel.
Yeah, that's what I'd be working with, just individual pixels.
Yeah,
And
I
that way
mean,
it truly is pixel art, yeah.
right. Well, this is more just like this concept at this point. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I might do.
Yeah, I'm just offering what I know, fairly
Mhm.
limited with that kind of animation, but I've always admired it. I love Project Zomboid and
Yeah,
RimWorld because it's that style of art.
I've been thinking about
Very,
doing.
it's very popular this in Japan. Like if you did a game
Oh,
using
pixel
this
art.
kind of
Yeah.
artwork,
Mhm.
very, very
Well,
popular.
I'd need to get somebody to translate whatever the fuck I'm saying into Japanese, but um, I was thinking about actually making like a simple JRPG out of this. Like, uh,
Hell yeah.
but I don't really know exactly how far I'm going to go with this. But I was like, as long as I'm doing something rather than nothing, you know?
Exactly, yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Keep creating.
Um, right. Um, but I mean, with this, with Kara, like I said, Thor's the only one that has like a weapon. Like he kind of has this hammer here. Like, I mean, this guy could be holding a staff. In the old Final Fantasy games, they were empty-handed until they attacked, and then like when they attack, like the weapon kind of just appears. But I might use some sort of like particle effect in Unity. Like if I did make a game, I would make some sort of particle effect that looked like a globe, like she was holding a globe here,
Yep.
like in her hand right here, and it would be kind of like hovering or spinning or something like that.
Damn, was Final Fantasy this was it that kind of res? Damn.
Yeah, the old school ones, yeah. The newer school stuff is all 3D, and like I think I told you before, I'm not that great at 3D. Um, so yeah.
There's a lot lost in 3D. I don't know. It's a very lazy, you get I don't know. I work with 3D modelers, especially in advertising, and they have the real talented guys are Asian, believe it or not. I mean, it makes sense,
Mhm.
doesn't it? But
Oh well, yeah.
yeah, a lot of the people you deal with, especially the guys that have worked on like Finding Nemo and stuff like that, and there's a big animation house here, and
Mhm.
you get guys that you get them on contract, and they have this sort of attitude problem where everything they do is awesome, and they don't want to sort of follow the script. They're like, no, no, we'll do it this way, and they've got this freaking cognitive dissonance.
That's a good word for it. Yeah, like a lot of these, a lot of JRPGs and video games in general. Uh, a lot of it is them trying to come to grips with Western civilization. Like they don't really know exactly what to make of it, so so their interpretation of it is often ends up pretty strange.
Yep.
Like Final Fantasy and Romancing Saga and well, they like
Yeah.
Star Wars a lot.
Yeah.
Uh,
Ragnarok Online,
yeah.
Ultima Online.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Like but yeah, like a lot of those things it's just them trying to like sort of figure out what the fuck is going on with Western culture, and it's their sort of interpretation or even like an adaptation. Like they insert a lot of Japanese type gods or mythological sort of stuff into those games as well. Like I mean Shiva and Odin and like those are like Norse gods. Not necessarily a part of Western culture either, um, uh, but I mean that's not something that was in Japanese culture. It's them like kind of just sort of like jumbling it into the mix and trying to make sense of it. And that's why
Yeah.
that's why it's a fantasy game. It kind of it's just just sort of like everything just kind of mashed into one. And uh, but at the same time, like I mean, it's a learning experience, and it's also for the people working on it. Like um, one of their video game, one of the people that does music for them uh, for Square Enix had to do like a whole soundtrack based on Renaissance music. So I would imagine that would be something of a journey for him to actually first learn about that stuff and then have to write music
Yeah, yeah.
that he might not be entirely familiar with. So, well, that's not. I mean, that's what do you call it? It's a victory, sort of like a victory march.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love that in the Final Fantasy movie, where his ringtone is that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's fucking awesome. Oh man, I was like, that is cool. Suddenly his phone rings and it's and he's like this crazy warrior dude in the church.
Right. That was
Yeah.
the Final Fantasy VII, right? The Final Fantasy VII
Um,
movie. Or no, that was
yeah.
the. If it wasn't that, it was the main. It was actually called Final Fantasy, right?
Yeah, it wasn't the Final Fantasy CGI film. I think
No.
it's um it was actually it was called Advent Children, I think.
Right. Like Final Fantasy VII is lighthearted. Like
Yeah, yeah.
it's not quite as they don't take it quite as seriously as some of their other titles. So yeah, there's a lot of fan service, and it's a lot of it's kind of like off the sort of off the cuff kind of stuff.
What you can actually do, one trick that I would approach too with this,
Mhm.
so I would do a sketch, based on what you want, and then
Mhm.
you would, then I'd give you that sketch, and then you would reduce it,
Yes.
and then whack it right down to the lowest possible res, and then fill in from that. So I'd be the penciler, and you'd be the inker and colorist.
Right.
I'll just give you the basic kind of outline, and when you reduce it to the pixel size that you want, you'd get this really nice kind of like balanced look to it, but also the squint eye kind of detail that you want.
Hmm.
But yeah, it would give you a nice sort of real accuracy, because then it'd be point to point pixel drawing.
Yeah,
I
I was
love
gonna.
that though. That's like 128. Well, no, that's way higher bit than that, but
Yeah. Uh, I This is like the concept art I was working on for one character, and then I shrunk this down quite a bit.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
So
and
I
you'd
mean,
keep reducing it and reducing it to the size that you actually want it.
exactly.
Yeah.
You see, there's less detail here, and I actually had to redetail the hair, like
Yep.
and also like she's not looking, like she's looking a different way, right? Like she's looking more at the camera at this, and this one she's looking more to the right because it's
Yep.
this is supposed to be more like the enemies are going to be on the right rather than straightforward. So yeah, but I don't really know.
That's awesome.
I don't know how to fucking draw overalls though. Apparently, like or how to color them at least. Um, but
But I mean, it lends itself to your style. Like you become stick with that. Like I don't know. It's hard to sort of to describe, but you have your own innate style in a way, and
yeah,
everything you do ends up being stylized to you. So you
mm,
have a really unique look about what you do, and idiots like me appreciate that. Seeing your style being uniform.
mm. Uh,
Yeah.
the problem
Oh,
is
I
like,
love that. Geez, that's awesome. That is
well,
awesome.
this one I did not make. This is character or concept art from Final Fantasy 11.
Yep.
Um,
Geez, that's beautiful work. I love the
yeah,
eyes.
the aesthetics in Final Fantasy 11 were really, really, really good. Um, a lot of money went into that too. I'm pretty sure. Um, but I
Yeah, oh
kind of
yeah, they had a ton of money back then.
Final Fantasy 7
Oh,
actually had a yeah. See,
I see what you're doing. You cheat.
yeah, I cheated. I'm a big cheater. I showed you that with the ballet dancer too. Um, what was it? I think this is the one. Black.
See, isn't it nice to get away from fucking flat Earth.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. See what you could do, right? You could get that ballet dancer,
Mhm.
and you can do what you're doing a lot easier, like a hell of a lot easier. So all you would do is cut the ballet dancer out using alpha channels. You wouldn't even have to do that. You could just cut it out using the eraser. Get it as close as possible with as little feathering as possible. Then get that image and say it's like so that's like 1080 by 720, and then you would change image size to be 22 pixels by 44 pixels. Bang! It's instantly pixel art.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, this is actually the first one I did when I just started getting back into art.
Yeah.
So, and I wasn't really sure if I was even going to be doing anything with sprite art, but I mean, I'm still not really sure if I want to do it or not. But with this particular picture, but the smaller version of it actually doesn't look that bad.
Yeah,
In
and
my
of course
opinion.
it needs to go a lot smaller. It needs a lot more reduction than that, doesn't it? Because
It might.
even that's high res in terms of pixel art.
You might be right.
Geez, what I find really interesting is that you've copied obviously the frame of the ballerina,
Mhm.
but the sword that you've added yourself looks fucking amazing. I really like that sword.
Yeah.
The
Well,
perspective
I
of it
looked through.
and
Yeah,
the
I looked
sword
through about.
itself is beautiful.
Yeah, I looked through about like I want to say like 200 different swords.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
like a Hessian saber to me,
right, and
but it's really a lance as such.
uh, or an epi or a I forget what else they call it, like a main gouge.
Yeah, main gash. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Um,
What you'd actually call it would be a oh my god, and I'm having a brain fart. A a, a, a foil.
a foil. Yeah.
Mm.
There you go.
But because it has decoration like that, it's technically not a foil. It's a Jesus. I know that it's a French bloody sword that you've got now that you've mentioned it. It's a oh god. Where's James? I need James here. He knows what that is. He's probably got one.
Right. Like anyway, like
He's one to talk about with Norse law, by the way, and he's also one to talk about with Warhammer. He is like,
oh, he's speaking of Warhammer.
holy fuck, he knows everything about it. Yeah, every
Is he
character he's
into
ever made
the?
with games is Warhammer characters.
Is he into the old versions? It's not just like Warhammer 4K, right?
Nah, he's right into the Horus Heresy novels,
Okay.
like the actual lore. It's like 38 novels, and he's read them all, and he knows it all back to front. Yeah. I get him to sit there and tell me stories. Like he tells me stories about this dude, Angron, and he had the butcher's nails in the back of his head. They hammered nails into the back of his head
Mm-hmm.
to make him always pissed off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's crazy. Some of those Warhammer stories are awesome.
Yeah. Well, that would do it.
Yeah, he's like this genetically engineered super warrior, and he's one of the I don't know. Oh god, I don't remember all of it, but he's one of these Primarchs, and there's these dudes who are like the sons of this super being,
Mm-hmm.
and they're the Primarchs, and one of them gets captured. He was the only one to ever get captured on the planet that he invaded. And when they capture him, they nails the butcher nails into the back of his head to make him like just a rager, like a berserker. And they send him back at his children, and he just slaughters like thousands, hundreds of thousands of these warriors, because he's just so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they've got really thick skin, and they don't sleep, and they rarely run out of energy, kind of thing. Like they're super soldiers beyond, even Superman. It's
Yeah.
awesome. Some of those stories are really clever.
Yeah. I don't know much about Warhammer though myself.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if Harry wanted to say something or if he was just banging around in his living room. You there, Harry?
Damn it. You guys, it said that I was muted. I
Oh,
guess when I go out of range, I go unmuted.
I don't know.
That's all good. Sounds like you were kicking the shit out of something in your kitchen.
Yeah.
I was just putting a pan away and throwing some trash away and stuff.
But I don't know how bad I'm cheating here. Like, is this a cardinal sin here? or what? Like, should I not be
Dude,
doing that?
there's no such thing as cheating in art. Everyone does
Okay.
it. The very best artists, Da Vinci, Van Gogh, all of them cheated like crazy, man. They were fucking tracers. Holy crap. I mean, they went as far as to get a corpse and lay it over a canvas and trace around it almost. Like they
Right.
did tons of shit like that, but Da Vinci was so good because he actually studied like a doctor would. He studied the
Yeah.
human body exactly like a doctor, and he would sit there and draw, muscles, and he understood um, the musculature very, very well, and the armature, like the skeleton. He understood all of the proportions extremely well, but he created mathematics, the principles of proportion.
Hmm.
And so like I've spoken about this with you before. I think like the width of your eye
Hmm.
is the width of the gap between your eyes,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and then you turn that, the width of your eye is also the length of your nose. The length of your nose is also the distance from the tip of your nose to the tip of your chin.
Not if you're ugly.
The principles of no, it's all relative. It's all relative. Trust me, it's all relative, and that's where the Mandelbrot set plays itself all over. Like there's a distinct patterning all over your body, absolutely all over it. And everything, every single damn thing that you could ever measure works within Fibonacci scaling. And let some noob argue with me and say otherwise, and I will destroy them in seconds by getting
Hmm.
them to actually observe their own fingers and see from fingertip to first joint is 1, and then you add that, and then it goes straight to the next joint, exact measurement 2, and then exact to the next measurement 3 to knuckle, and then in Fibonacci scaling it goes 1, 2, 3, 5, and that's to wrist is exactly 5 because you add the sum of the last number to the number before. So 1 is 2, 2 and 1 is 3, 3 and 2 is 5, 5 and 3 is 8, 8 and 3 is 8 and 5, sorry, is 13, and it just keeps going like that. And your whole body has, and you could get the branch of any tree and actually see the Fibonacci scaling in it.
I
Yeah,
remember when I was in like
it's
fourth grade,
brilliant.
we did a thing where we measured our faces, and we used that shit to figure out who was good looking and who
Oh,
wasn't
good
based
looking.
on
Yep.
math, and it
Hmm.
Yep.
works.
Yeah, it works. Yeah.
All the good looking kids like matched perfectly, and all the ugly kids, their math is all off. We're like, I'm a 3.5 or something, and they're just like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they both base the math.
What that means
The
is you're
mean,
ugly,
Wow.
but they couldn't
the
say
mean is
that.
based on my head. Like they traveled back in time and they traveled forward in time and got my head, and they said, well, I'm the perfect person, and they based it all off me because I'm so good looking. I can't use mirrors because I have orgasms if I do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
me too.
like it's true. I do.
What sort of what sort of personality traits would you like if I was not going to make these guys mages? Like, how would you make these guys look? Quartus
I would make
Rumpus.
one quartus
Quartus
would
should look like Costanza.
Hmm.
he'd look, yeah, either like a roly poly, but he'd have a neck beard and a bald head.
Hmm.
That's how I see him, as
Hmm.
sort of a neck bearded type. Yeah, like Friar Tuck sort of
Gotcha.
dude.
Okay.
Yeah. Rumpus, I don't know, like Quartus is like I don't know, a Macintosh.
Hmm.
Rumpus would be like a computer. Kara, I don't know. The first time she spoke to me, she said, "Oh, cool. If I want someone to copy paste, I'll get you to do some artwork for me." She was really insulting to me,
Yeah.
like jealous, I guess.
Is that
And that's how I
Rumpus?
saw it.
I thought that was
Quartus
red.
Rumpus, the gator.
Rumpus, Macintalk.
Red Rumpus. We already know what Rumpus looks like. I always imagine Rumpus driving a Prius.
Hmm.
A Ford Pinto. We shouldn't talk about these people. That's mean. They're all characters in a stage show that they don't even realize they're a part of.
Usually they repeat.
Yeah, they're not much without Pete, are they?
What's that?
They're not much
What
without
I not
Pete.
much about.
Mm.
They kicked Pete earlier today. It's the first time or earlier tonight, I should say. Um, just the first time I've seen somebody actually kick Pete. It was when Red's Rhetoric was in the room.
Yeah, well, I mean, he was patently false about what he was talking about as far as arguments go, and they all patted him on the back for that. But he was actually completely wrong.
Who, Reds?
Yeah, yeah, he knows nothing about debating. He made a bunch of assertions that were completely false.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, no one argues with him because it's a circle jerk.
Yeah, like I'm getting that sort of feeling as well with especially around Red's Rocket, so I like to call him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't dislike the guy, but at the
No,
same
me neither.
time, like he's not Captain Amazing to me. Like he's fallible,
No.
just like any other human being.
Well, I
Red's
also
Rocket.
Red's Rocket, yeah. Like I don't think he's that funny. First of all, like
Never funny,
but everybody,
no.
but everybody laughs at everything he says. It's just like I just don't get. I just don't get it.
But I'll show you how I'd approach this. Just I don't know if it's going to help you or anything, but it's just my experience in Photoshop.
I'm sure Kara would think I'm just copy pasting at this point, right? Like,
Oh, who cares? Don't care what other people think. First rule of art: never care what people think, and don't think that there's any. The fastest method to go about something is the best. Trust me, man. Like you could beat around the bush for ages. No one's going to appreciate it because they don't see what you're doing in the background. You could be sweating and pulling levers in the center of the earth and have 14 arms and be going fuck, fuck, fuck. They don't see any of that. All they see is the finished result, and all they care about is results.
mm-hmm.
So I copy paste like crazy. Yeah,
well,
I do.
Well, I think that gives better context. Because you do, I've seen you do stuff before, and you make it sort of look realistic. So I mean, that might have just been that might have just been,
Oh, that's just practice, man.
Well, no.
Yeah,
When she was talking about you, that might have just been like a backhanded sort of compliment. Not even a
no,
compliment.
it was just being underhanded.
Just a little backhanded. That's all.
Yeah, just being a bit snide. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't take it that too seriously.
I was trying to encourage it, but I actually thought that I could give her an idea for a game, like something nice and simple that I've been thinking of for ages. And I thought, you know what? Nah, nah, not you, not worthy. Show me some respect. I mean, the people that I deal with, it's all about respect.
Mm-hmm.
You could be the biggest talentless jerk in the world, but if you're respectful to the people around you, then you'll overrule anyone who's miles above you in terms of talent because you're respectful.
Yeah, well, Rumpus was really impressed with some of the stuff you're doing. I remember that. He was gobsmacked. If I could use a term that he might use.
When I was doing lettering, yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But a lot of people see my methods at doing lettering because it's my own. I'm self-taught, and it's an approach that no one ever sees. They're just like, "Fuck!" Oh, you can Google that all day, you'll never find it because I've got my own techniques, and that's just by accident, but just by messing around for hundreds of hours.
I think that's a good way to approach things, but it's also very time consuming.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, you end up with something that's unique. And
so here's what I'd do.
Unique for anything really.
If I was going to do for example, if I was going to do a pixel art, I would create. So I'd go a new document, and I'd do 30 pixels by 30 pixels just as an example. And so then immediately I've got my paintbrush here, and I can zoom in, and I get my paintbrush, and I'd turn that to 1 pixel big, and boom, there's your pixels. And they're actual pixels.
Actually,
so you can't
open up our. Yeah.
So then when you zoom out, you can see that it is pixel art, but you're working with the resolution that you're working with, so you can't.
Right.
I can just draw, so there's no inaccuracy there.
Right.
And you can still create shaders, and you can do all that wonderful stuff, box and your gradient tools and all that, but you're still working directly with pixel art, so to speak.
Right.
And the other way, I would get an image, so I could get open a new image, Let me find something here. Sorry, I'm interrupting you. I'm being a pig.
That's all right.
So let me grab something like Pikachu, little Pikachu that I did. And you see it's quite pixelated.
Mm-hmm.
Then I would go to the image, adjust, image size. So it's 264 pixels by that, and I just go 30 by, and it's locked. So and that would reduce it, and there you go. Pixel art.
Oh yeah.
And then I just clean it up,
Mm-hmm.
So I get my brush and bring back the definition. And that's cheaty. Oh, that's cheaty, but there's no cheating. No. It's the effective way to get done what you need to do. So yeah, reduction's a good way. So you can get a detailed image like your ballerina there and just reduce the image size. And I'm sure GIMP would be able to do that, exactly that. I should show you my Pikachus actually, because you'll probably like them. I don't know if you're into Pokemons. If I can find them. I'm not going to be able to find this stuff. Very deep. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to find this. I'd be better off going to my imager. I'll stop sharing and I'll go find my imager.
Okay. The reason I didn't do it with this one is because I'm not exactly sure. I wasn't sure how detailed I was going to get, and how many colors I was going to use, or anything like that. And plus, I might put names over it, and I might put like do something even more detailed on top of it as well, like some sort of a sketch. So yeah, I was just kind of shooting from the hip on this one, but it kind of turned into a bit of a project.
Yeah, I think you guys. I think you'll like my version of Pikachu because, my version of Pikachu is not really like anyone else's. This is not the Pikachu you're looking for. Other dude too. A guy said, "Oh, you got to do this guy as well," and I ended up doing him. So bear with me here. I found Pikachu. Now I've got to find what's his name, Mew or something. Mewtwo. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Save as. Pikachu. There we go. Okay. Let me open it. This is me to a T, by the way. Like it, love it or hate it, it doesn't matter to me. Pikachu. Pikachu and Mewtwo. Yeah, that's my Pikachu though. It's a bit rough. It's a quick sketch, but it was just trying to get my point across to someone.
I just hope that towel doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah. And then people are like, that's like Fight Club or something. Well, exactly. That's what Pikachu does, doesn't he? He just fights.
Right.
He's a born fighter. Look at him. He looks like a badass. He's like cyber rat monster dude. Quite pixelated, It's pretty old, and you can see how rough I've worked. Holy crap, that's rough. But yeah, Pikachu. You could actually, do a thing like this, because I think that's a winner. Doing something like that.
Yeah. Take
on Pokemon where they're like Street Fighter style warriors, and you have like Mortal Kombat, but it's Pokemon.
Well, I do like fighting games.
Yeah, well, there you go. There's a full-on market, untapped market, because it's combining the two. And they've got their special abilities like Squirtle, spins around, lifts his dress and goes, Bleh! And just vomits water out of his anus.
I forget what
if you hold down your button too long, he just prolapses. Yeah. And his guts end up falling out on the floor, and you lose health.
I forget what the name.
While he's shoveling his guts back in, you can kick him in the head. Yeah.
There was one game that had like humanoid-looking, like a humanoid-looking, was it kangaroo? I think it was called overgrowth or something like that, and you just run around kicking the crap out of like each other. Like, I think it's multiplayer. So yeah, it's kind of there. Um, there are Pokemon fighting games too, like was it Smash Brothers? And
Yeah,
and yeah, so
yeah.
uh,
My stock in trade is stuff like this
yeah.
process. So there's the sketch, believe it or not.
Who the fuck is that?
That's the sketch.
Oh, well, yeah,
That's doing my ink separations.
yeah.
And the finished result turns out like this.
Oh,
Carl,
snap.
when I die, you're going to lead the group.
Who is that supposed to be?
Rick, Walking Dead.
Oh, like
So that's the
I don't
sketch.
watch.
That's literally the sketch. That's the pencils
Yeah,
for comic book style separations, and then
yeah,
boom into that.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's pretty fat. I like that.
and you get that sort of bearded separation, like the bearded kind of look.
Yeah.
This ends up becoming like a vector image. And what I was doing was it was for uh, college humor. I think I was doing this for. It never flew. The idea was that Rick's forehead is so big that we can we can sell his forehead, put the advertising on his forehead. Man, it's a
There you go.
waste, you know. Why don't we put the sponsors on his forehead?
Yeah.
When I die, you're going to lead the group. So I ended up doing this for a friend because she wanted a tattoo. So there's the ink that was put on her body,
Hmm.
partially anyway.
Hmm.
But she loved this dude, who ends up being gay. I think.
Hmm.
I think he got married to a guy. Poor
Well,
girl.
I was glad I didn't ask if that was you, because that might have been awkward. Um,
No, that's what's his name out of Walking Dead? That's
oh, okay.
I don't know his name. I don't watch the show.
I think I know who you're talking
Yeah,
about though. Yeah. Yeah, I don't watch that
but
show.
that's my stock. Oh, there's an
Walking Dead
accident happening
sucks
there.
my ass.
Oh, it's shit. It's really bad, but yeah, that's what I love doing. This is like the art that I love, just like basic pen and ink, and you get the shaders in Frank Miller style. Frank Miller's probably my biggest inspiration.
Yeah.
Kirby. Yeah. I did
I
some funny stuff like the haircuts of Walking Dead.
I watched like one
Focused on
episode.
the
Well,
haircuts.
I think I watched like two or three, maybe more than that. But I remember watching one episode, and there was like two sisters, and they were out on a boat, and they were talking about their dad, and they're just fishing, and I was like, I fucking hate this. I turned it off. I was like, this is not this is not even a zombie movie or a zombie show. What the fuck? All right.
Yeah, what gets me is that they're all squishy. Like
Yeah.
the zombies themselves, like how could they bite down on something when their head gets crushed like a foam ball?
Right.
There's no logic in it. Because I run up and they just ram a spear, like a stick, into someone's forehead and we go through their head and leave a hole. And it's like, what are these fucking zombies made out of? Like they're like fucking sponge. They're made out of freaking Big Mac buns or something. It's
Yeah.
lame as shit.
Yeah.
I tried watching it when it came out.
Hmm.
Got like 2 episodes in, and I was just like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
I recently went to someone's house and they had it on, and I
Yeah.
couldn't believe how it's so much worse than it even was when it started. They were just like walking around punching zombies. It's like,
Mm.
where's the tension here? The zombies are that lame now? They can just punch them?
Yeah.
Punch the zombie. Punch the zombie. All right, you're being presented, Dad.
It's okay.
We're going to watch
I
you
think
work.
all right. Uh, yeah. Well, a lot of the zombie stuff is pretty fucking. I don't know. Like, it's stupid when you think about it. like because a zombie scenario could never really happen at all.
Oh, that horse is just flogged to
Yeah.
death. I mean, oh my
Well,
God, it's
yeah.
been flogged hard.
I remember you saying that before too, but I mean, it is the genre that will never die. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
unfortunately, yeah.
What about horses?
He's saying that the zombie genre is done to death, but I mean, there's an obvious pun to be had there. So
Yeah, they flogged the crap out of that zombie horse to the point where it's just, I don't know, they're whacking on mud now, and it's. I mean, they've done so many takes on it. Like, there's been some pretty creative takes in recently. You know, with that love story with the zombies. I didn't mind watching that film where he's like a, but it was sort of your, I don't know.
Did you
Love
read
story.
World War Z?
No, I watched it. I didn't mind that actually. It was
The book is so much better,
decent.
though. The movie, there's nothing wrong with the movie. It's just a movie. If they hadn't supposedly used that as source material, I would have really no issue with it. But because they had that source material to work with and they basically disregarded it, it's pretty disappointing because the book is so fucking good.
Yeah, I love that one, Cell. I don't know if you'd seen that.
The Cell?
I think it was just called Cell.
I don't know if I saw that.
Yeah, it's got John Cusack. And it starts out at an airport.
I like him. I should probably watch it.
Yeah, everyone on their electronic devices, they get this like ringtone go into their ears, and it just sends everyone freaking ballistic crazy. And he doesn't have a phone, so he doesn't go crazy, and he kind of escapes.
Oh,
But,
Samuel L. Jackson, what?
Yeah, it's a great film. It's actually very, very
It's got a
watchable.
4.3 on IMDb. Jesus. The hell happened?
It's not for everyone because the endings. It's got a Hitchcock twist to it, and people don't get it. They just don't get it. They're like, "What? What the fuck just happened?" And they're like, "No," because if you have a bad ending for any movie, you can have the best fucking story ever, and if the ending is confusing and weird, people just hate it. They that last 5 minutes matters so much to the audience. They're just like, the whole movie is suddenly shit, even though it was a unique story in a way. But I think that was a decent zombie story. I don't know, it was different. But there's this one scene where they're all lying on their backs going trollolololololololololol. That's freaky. It's actually creepy as fuck. But yeah.
wait, they were singing the Trollolol song.
Yep.
Oh, that's kind of lame.
Yeah. But they're not seeing it like each zombie is like making one like little hum sound kind of thing. But it makes this like there's thousands of people on this soccer field all lying down like zombies asleep. Mm-hmm. And they think it's the mobile phones that everyone's carrying, but it's not. It's them making these sounds. And they're all going, but it forms like this cacophony that sounds exactly like it's freaky. It's really weird. Yeah. There's some lame parts in the story, but it's a movie. What do you expect? I mean, people expect this sort of like art imitating life shit when the whole premise of the story is based on fucking zombies. I mean, come on.
Yeah. I forget what the name of the movie is, but it's one that takes place in a radio station, and like the way you become a zombie is if you actually listen to what other people what these zombies like are saying, because there's like some sort of like it spreads through communication.
That sounds like Cell.
Yeah, that's what it reminded me of it, but it's not Cell, it's something else. I forget the name of it.
Are you talking about Johnny Mnemonic?
No.
No, Johnny Mnemonic. That's his head's a storage thing.
Well, yeah, but he was talking about disease. It spreads through electronics, and that's like
it's
whole backbone
called,
of the movie.
It's called Pontypool. It sounds like
Pontypool.
Yeah, it
Fuck,
sounds
I've never even heard of it.
right. Uh, 7 out of 10 on IMDb. 83,
Damn.
83% on Rotten Tomatoes, 54% on Metacritic. So, I mean, it's not terrible, but I actually liked it. It's not bad. Um, yeah,
Pontypool. I want to watch that.
there you go.
I've just finished watching. Well, I've just started watching, I should say, because I couldn't keep up with the bloody subtitles, so I re-downloaded the English dub, which is naughty of me, but hey, I want to get into the story. Ergo Proxy. Yep, never seen
Okay.
it. That's not bad.
Yeah, I was gonna watch like a bunch of horror horror movies yesterday, but I only got through like 2 movies. Then I was over it. I was tired.
I hate that when someone asks me, "What's your favorite movie?" And
Hmm.
it's like, "What fucking genre, man?" Like, fuck,
Hmm.
because I've got so many favorites.
Right.
But if you say genre, then what's your favorite horror movie? That's I'm preparing myself to asking you that.
Yeah. Um, I don't mind.
Solar.
I don't mind the question. Like, it makes you think. Like,
Yeah, or
I mean,
what's
if
one
you
that you
had to
like,
put
memorable kind of thing that comes to mind?
right. Well, I mean, if somebody asked me like, what's your favorite? What I normally think is like, what I mean, if I had to make a choice, like, what would I put on the top?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, well, okay. A better question would be, what horror movie actually fucking gave you the heebies? Like, was creeped you out a bit? Or
Alien.
even scene from a
But I was
film.
pretty young.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
if you go like,
Aliens, scary.
yeah, Night of the Living Dead originally, like when I first saw it because I was young, but more
Yep.
recently, Dead Girl, which is another zombie movie. It's
Dead
about
Girl.
some yeah, it's about some teenagers in sort of like a hick town, and not really a hick town, but it's in the South, but they're still like in normal suburbia or a city or something like that. And they decide to go to like 2 guys decide to go to somebody finds a dead body in a basement of like a warehouse or something like that, and it turns out she's like a zombie, but she's chained up, and boys being boys, I guess, they get the idea to fuck her.
Yep.
So they keep on going back to fuck her, and she's like dead. And yeah, that's the premise
That's
anyway.
fucked up.
Yeah, it's pretty strange.
That
But
is fucked up.
yeah, so it's creepy just on that level. But yeah, yeah, it has a little bit more to it than that as well. So I don't want to spoil it if too much of it.
Because my older sister was 5 years older than me
Mhm.
and was a bad babysitter. Oh my God, my sister was the worst babysitter.
Mhm.
Fuck, man. She sat me down when I was like 6 years old, and without her realizing it, she didn't realize, but she left a Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Extro and Evil Dead for me to watch.
There you go.
And I was,
What's wrong with that?
man,
Was
Yeah, what's wrong
dude, I
with
was
that?
6 years old. Like, I didn't even know what a movie was. Like, fuck, dude. That one scene in Texas Chainsaw Massacre where the dude enters the house and all you see is Leatherface club him over the head, and then all you hear is boom, this metal door slam. And then the girl in the house, and she's looking around, and the camera's just focused on her eye. And she's looking around. There's like a chicken in a freaking bird cage, and there's crap everywhere, and there's just like throne made of bones, and it's just like fucked up, man. Like, holy shit, that's a fucked up movie.
Yeah. What I mean, that's sort of where you get the taste for horror movies, though, because you watched it when you were young, and it might not be
Yeah,
everyone's
oh,
experience,
dude.
but yeah, my babysitter left me with what was it, Night of the Living Dead, and or he let me watch that, and what was the other one? Day of the Triffids wasn't really it wasn't really it wasn't really that bad. But the Night of the Living
Yeah.
Dead one kind of really freaked me out. But but it's mostly because I forget how old I was. I must have been like probably like 7 or 8, maybe less than that. I don't know, but I
Yeah,
should. I mean, I wasn't really. The point is that I wasn't really like exposed to that before that, and I probably should have
yeah,
been.
yeah, for sure. I mean, and then you're like watching it, going, "What the fuck am I even watching?" Like and you connect to it, and you can't stop watching it. It's like a fucking train wreck.
Right.
Oh man, another one that like it gave me the heebies, and it genuinely did. And you can call me a bloody wuss if you like, but
Mm-hmm.
Blair Witch Project, when the camping, and you can, because I've camped a lot, and you can, all you can hear is the stacking of the stones. That creeped me the fuck out, man. Like that really creeped me out. And then they wake up and there's these piles of stones stacked. That's all it was. It's just so simple. But dude, like fuck off. Being in a tent, oh man, like you could come to Australia and I could scare you to the bone. I mean it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could utterly scare the crap out of you, because if you heard the mating call of a koala, you would be mortified.
Or if they drop on your head, right?
No, I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
When I first heard a koala's mating call, I shat my pants. Like I didn't literally, but man,
Mm-hmm.
I ran home like, because we lived out in the bush, and I ran through the bush like there was a fucking monster chasing me. I was terrified because they make this sound going like really loud.
Yeah.
And dude, it doesn't sound like a fucking koala. Like it sounds like a freaking wild boar. And yeah, it's terrifying. The sound they make is absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
And
We
then
have different foxes. I don't know how many different types of fox you have in Australia, but they scream, and it sounds like a human scream.
yep.
So when you're out there, when you're out in like the wilderness, and you have fox, and they just want to scream, and it sounds like a human scream. Yeah, that's kind of freaky.
We're out camping. You remind me of another story I've got. We're out camping in the middle of nowhere, and we're out in the bush on a dirt track, on a camping ground. And in the middle of the night, it's like 3 a.m. Everything's quiet. The fire's gone cold, And the middle of the night, you hear this ear piercing, like a little girl screaming at the top of her lungs.
Mm.
Everyone in the campsite gets up, and we've got guns and stuff, and everybody, like there's 14 of us, like family, and we're all, guns, everyone's up in the tents, lights are on. It's like, what the fuck is that? And we go down into this valley where it's coming from. We've got all torches and stuff, and we get to the source of it. I mean, it's ear piercing, and there's a koala, a little baby koala, sitting up a tree, clinging to the tree, screaming its head off, while there's a big koala above it pissing on its head. We're like, you assholes. Oh my God, you're the biggest trolls. I kid you not, I can still hear that screaming in my head, like crystal clear. It was like literally like a 6-year-old girl getting murdered.
Yeah.
Yeah. That kind of squealy squeal. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see how that could be freaky.
Oh yeah, in the middle of the night, in the middle of nowhere, you kind of, scary shit. But I've had another scary experience with a person when we were camping, and it was terrifying. We're out at a campsite, and this big old, like a Valiant Charger to you guys, the equivalent of a Charger, this big dirty old, wob 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 car turns up at the edge of the camping ground with its lights off, and then you can see the barrel of a gun, a rifle, come out of the window, and the guy fire a shot at our billy on the campfire and shoot a hole in it,
Mm-hmm.
and then turn the lights on and take off. And that was terrifying because we were kids. There's no adults or anything. We didn't have any guns or anything. We were like Cub Scouts,
Right.
And we were terrified, man. We didn't sleep at all. We ended up actually packing up our shit, going to the main highway and hitching to the nearest service station, calling our parents and going home. We were fucking terrified. And what's scary about that is that years later, there was a mass murderer named Ivan Milat in Australia. He was known as the backpacker killer, and he
Oh,
used to pick up these tourists, these backpackers, and abduct them and murder them. And he drove a green CL Valiant, the exact car that fired shots at our Billy.
oh no.
And I said to all my friends years later, I bet that was Ivan Milat. And they're like, nah, no way. And it's like, it's a small world, man. It was Ivan Milat. They didn't want to admit it to themselves, but, I reckon they knew deep down that I was right. And that
Yeah.
was terrifying in itself,
Yeah.
that we
That's how
came
that's how urban
head to head
legends
with a serial
get
killer.
it. That's how urban legends start,
Sorry?
man. That's how urban legends
Urban
start.
legends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Urban legends that are scary. Good stories to tell around the campfire.
I when I was at college, uh, I had I had made a few friends, not many friends, but a few friends there. And one of the guys liked to drink a lot, and because it was college, we were just kind of walking down the street and looking for some action, and a car drove by, and my drunk ass friend, he for no real apparent reason at all, he was just like fucking niggers, like, and I'm just like, okay. And the guy stopped his car and he got out and he was a black man. I'm like, oh, here we go. So, and he was like, what'd you say? And like, he they just keep shouting at each other, and he opens up his trunk, and I'm like, dude, he's drunk and he didn't know what the fuck he was saying or what he was doing. Can we just stop this? But and he did, good for him. But I mean, that was pretty free. That was, I could have died at that point because if he pulled out like a shotgun or something like that and decided to kill Whitey,
Yeah.
yeah, that could have been bad. And that was that was not too pleasant.
Yeah, when I was in 12, my father was in America, and me and my brother, we went with him because we were too young for well, we at the time we didn't have a babysitter or anything. We
Uh,
were too young to be left alone, so my dad thought, oh well, you can come with us, and he was meeting up with a friend, and he said to us, here's some money if you want, go out and find a pinball parlor and go play pinball.
mhm.
And my brother and I, being silly, were in New York, and yeah, we're walking the streets in the middle of the night, and this guy came out of an alley and said, "Give us your money." And we just looked at each other like, "What the fuck do we even do?" And yeah, I pulled out an Australian $5 bill and I said, "This is all I've got."
Right.
And he's just looked at me like I'm an idiot. He's, "What the fuck's that?" And I'm like, "That's Australian money." And he's, "Hang on, are you Australian?" I'm like, "Yeah, I sound Australian, don't I?" And he's like, "G'day, mate." The way he said it, he's just I threw him off completely. He's just like, "What the fuck?" And I've gone, "Here, you can take this." And he's like, "It's not really worth anything, is it?" And I'm like, "Well, it's money. You could get money for it."
Right.
And he sort of like reluctantly took it off me. He's like, he felt bad. Like, I shouldn't be taking this. I'm taking money from a kid.
Right.
I'm like, "Here, have it. Keep it. It's Aussie money." Because it's literally all I had.
Mhm.
And yeah, at the time I was shitting myself.
Yeah.
My brother, he walked away. He was already gone. I turned around and my brother's fucking gone. I'm like, what a prick. You know, guy could have stabbed me right then and there. And it was the middle of the night, the middle of the bloody city, but I didn't know anyone or anything. So yeah,
That's what you
that
got
was
to
my
do,
brush
man.
with death.
Just run next time.
Yeah, it's funny how you react to situations like that, how you sort of cope.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad my first intuition was to try to talk sense into this. The
Yeah, guy
you
that's
know,
ready to kill you. Yeah.
yeah. I should have tried to talk some sense into my quote unquote friend at that point or before that, but um, you know, it's hard to convince anybody not to drink, like when they're in college. And at that point, I was on all sorts of drugs anyway, so probably wasn't at the height of my decision making. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I have no idea how this is going to turn out. It's probably going to be shit.
Well, it's more fun than listening to someone talk about flat Earth and then someone drawing up models that are totally pointless.
Yeah. Well, before I came in here, they were talking about racing cars, and I don't know the first fucking thing about that, anyways.
Nor do they. Don't worry.
Probably not.
Well, you
Who,
know.
who says you have to know something to talk about it?
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
bullshit.
like, yeah, I drove a car once. It was pretty sweet.
Yeah, I've got a few friends that are right into it, but not my scene.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Aussie guys are fanatical about their cars
Hmm.
because, you know, it's the country, you know, like Australia's a big country town, basically. So you get dudes that are absolutely fanatical about the cars they drive and type of horsepower they pull and all this sort of bullshit.
Hmm. Well, it's obviously pretty big here in America as well. So,
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, I lived in Charlotte. It's virtually the home of NASCAR, isn't it?
right.
Charlotte, NC.
Hmm.
All the NASCAR wives, naughty women, naughty,
Hmm.
naughty girls. Looking for
You can say that
some
again.
cream, you know, looking for Chinese food, as I like to call it.
Hmm.
People are like, huh? What do you mean Chinese food? Well, they're looking for cream of some young man's soup.
Yeah, cream of some young guy.
Yeah, cream of some young man. I had some strange run-ins with NASCAR women because I'm an Australian. You know, they're like, "Oh, you're Australian."
Mm.
Uh-oh.
Well, it's the accent, man.
It is, yeah. And
Um,
they're
it,
like, "Would
I
you?
mean,
Did you
well,
mind
it
too?"
helps. It helps if you're attractive too.
Yeah, you know, they're all. Oh God, it's weird.
It's gonna be awful. I just know it is.
It's because his head's sideways. He looks like, you know, he
Actually,
looks
that's not
like,
so bad. Look at that.
yeah,
There you
it's
go.
not bad at all, actually, now that I look at it like that. But you know, the goggles remind me of
Favorite.
the little dudes out of Dig Dug, the game
Yeah,
Dig Dug.
yeah. I don't know how I'm gonna have him grinning though. Like, might have to get a bit clever here.
I mean, you just have to straighten it up, I think.
All right.
He's just not your man, Randy Savage. He's just that
Yeah.
cheesy grin.
I mean, this is
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. This can't be right.
You made me watch some of his ads that he did, like where he just bursts through out of nowhere and he's, oh yeah, he's doing
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
Kool Aid dude. Crack me up.
Snap to a Slim Jim.
Ooh.
Snap to a
Yeah.
Slim Jim. That's it.
Yeah. Still
Fucking crack me
really
up.
right. Still really well known. His old Slim Jim commercials. Um. But yeah, he was like that. I mean, he's been like that since forever. Like always always been extreme. And not only that, but he's always been. I was drawing on the wrong fucking layer, wasn't I? Yeah. Fuck. Shit. But yeah, like I mean, he was always that intense in and out of the ring. Like he was always in character, and that's sort of why I appreciate him. Like a real dedication to his art, if you want to call it that.
Those
But I
Slim
mean,
Jim commercials are fucking false advertisement. There is no snap to a Slim Jim. They're flimsy
well,
pieces of ground up beef,
yeah,
random parts.
I reckon you stick to the art now. Like you're going off the rails with the
well,
like, you know,
it's gonna need some detail, but like
His teeth are crawling up around his sunglasses.
Right. Yeah, well, yeah. But yeah, like I mean, he did some promos that were just he did the best promos, and he's actually like the most imitated even today. Like a lot of wrestlers. I mean, The Rock alone owes like his whole entire career to the Macho Man. People don't realize it, but like the way The Rock did promos was mainly because the Macho Man did promos the way he did.
Yeah. Oh, he's the most charismatic of all of them. Him and Hulk.
Yeah.
But I like George Animal Steel. I thought he was fun. He's just his own unit.
Hulk was a sellout piece of shit.
Yeah, see, I only know. I mean,
if
dude,
you like Macho Man, you have to see the Iron Sheik.
I don't want to spoil my memories because my last memories of wrestling is like WrestleMania, like the original, Hulk versus King Kong Bundy.
Mm-hmm.
Like all of those original dudes, they're my memories, and I don't want to wreck those.
Well, yeah, well, if you ever did see the Iron Sheik nowadays, that probably would destroy your childhood.
Oh, the Iron Sheik was hilarious.
You're a piece of shit. No good cocksucker Jew. Whenever you want to suck my dick, whenever you want to come suck my dick, I'll break your back and make you humble.
What, he actually says that?
Oh yeah, like he's. Ooh. I mean, you want to talk about somebody who actually is on crack, and cocaine and meth and everything else. I mean, he's he won't go to an interview unless somebody gives him like cocaine.
The fuck?
Well, yeah.
Can't believe he's still kicking.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the wrestlers all have like really good genetics, so yeah. I mean, you can kind of imagine why they would still be alive.
Yeah, they're pretty resilient bunch.
Right. Yeah. That's actually not bad. I don't
Back in the day, they'd be in a battlefield lopping heads off.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, they'd be having fucking women thrown to them in a bloody coliseum. That's really what they are. It's coliseum fighting. Give them a net and a trident or a sword and a board, and off they go. Yeah. Not many people know that in those days in the coliseum fighting, to show ultimate defeat to your enemy, you'd lift their dress and fuck them in the ass in front of the whole crowd. You'd rape them. Because that's the ultimate defeat, isn't it? You just got raped by your opponent, literally.
Pretty much.
That's fucking brutal. That's brutal. Can you imagine that?
No, I can't.
You raped me. It's like, yeah, I'll rape you again.
I think I've read like a Japanese manga about that once though.
Damn, you read some pretty nasty manga.
Damn right I do. Only the best.
Oh, the best.
Only the best from you, man.
Holy shit. Fucking mental scars from that, just thinking about that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, you spend enough time on the internet and you're going to be mentally scarred. So, the most mentally scarring thing I've ever seen is actually a picture of a flower. It's like what the fuck are those things called? They're just disgusting looking. They got like pods and stuff. And somebody like photoshopped it onto skin, like onto somebody's arm. And it just oh man, it was fucking vile.
You've got that. You have that that phobia.
Fear of holes.
Fear of holes in skin, yeah.
Fuck me.
Yeah. And there's got the little bug eyes and stuff in the holes. I should never have
told you that, right? Yeah. Fuck me.
Yeah, that's definite phobia that you have. I can look at that stuff. God. It doesn't really worry me much.
Oh man, that is just
some people have a mad reaction to that, and you're one of them.
Well, I don't know about like I wouldn't like
the one that would get you the worst.
Well, I obviously I can
honeycomb holes in the soles of feet that will freak you out the most. Apparently,
yeah, that's exactly the same thing.
Yep.
but it's so fucking nasty. And it really is, man. It's just so fucking disgusting. And not only that, but like there's things like that actually fucking happen, like with frogs or toads or something
Oh
like
yeah,
that. Like their babies will crawl into like a what do you call it? Like a layer of skin on their backs, and then they'll pop out of their fucking backs and leave little
yeah,
holes and shit. It's fucking nasty. That is just
yeah.
vile.
You wouldn't like the Ninja Scroll
Oh man,
anime
probably
because
not.
one of the villains in that has a beehive in his back. He's a hunchback, and it's a
Oh yeah,
beehive.
yeah,
Yeah, and the bees like he sends the bees after you, and it's just like it's fucking gross.
yeah. That's pretty bad.
Do you like my new avatar?
Oh fuck off. I'm not looking at it. Fuck off with
Oh,
it.
that's nasty. No, that's not that bad actually. I can see that's really bad Photoshop work. Dude, that guy's got some serious blackheads. You don't even need to do that. You just need to look at his actual face. Holy crap, what a grub. No, that's I got nastier than that, but Harry, you're not gonna do it. But when they show people from India getting zits removed, blackheads. These dudes haven't bathed in their entire life, and they've got these monster blackheads on their nose, and the guy's getting like the blackhead removal tool and squeezing them all, and it's just like, fuck off. It's off. Yuck.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
generally really disgusting.
Yes. Yeah. There's big weeping holes in their face afterwards. It's horrible.
Yeah.
Yuck. But I noticed that with dudes I work with, especially darker skin dudes, if you actually look at the pores on their cheeks,
Mm-hmm.
and they've got these horrendous blackheads,
Mm-hmm.
on their because they work in these, in these factories or whatever, and they've just got these mad blackheads on their face.
Oh, I fucking hate you guys.
Yeah. No, one thing I watched the other week was, and it was gross and freaky, was spores that grow on cow shit,
Yeah.
and they have the most amount of pressure. They exert all this pressure to actually make the spore launch,
Mm.
and the mathematics of it all is just insane. Like to make this build up this amount of pressure to release the spore,
Mm.
but they had it in macro high speed footage,
Yeah.
and it looks so gross. Like just this thing going bleh, and vomiting off this little blob at the end of it. It was like, oh, why am I watching this? Honestly.
But
like,
yeah,
yuck.
I didn't know I had, like, apparently, obviously I didn't know I had that phobia until I saw that, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a special type of phobia.
Mm-hmm.
And it's more common than any other phobia.
Is it? Okay, good. I'm not
It's the
strange.
most common phobia.
Okay.
Yeah, most people are actually repulsed by it.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean,
So you're normal, we're not.
good.
Like I'm not. I can look at that stuff and be like, yeah, whatever. But yeah.
But I'm sure I don't get any, like, grossed out by, I mean, that one grosses me out, like, more than anything else.
Yeah, it's like when you cut up rats in school, like you do lab rats and frogs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a bit of a nerdy dude, and I had sort of like nerdy friends, and well, I had all friends, but I'm still that kind of roughneck mentality.
Mm-hmm.
And I get the nerdy dude, and I get the pregnant rat because I know what the codes are on the bags, and I make sure I get one with P on it, so I know it's pregnant, and I cut the 12 babies out, line them all up, and then I distribute them to all my friends in their pencil cases, so they can open their pencil case and they've got a nice rat fetus in there. And yeah, my friends didn't like me much for doing that to them.
No.
They're just like, you.
Yeah. I watched, what was it? There's something on YouTube of a cockroach giving birth. And it was
Oh, with the ants, dude.
yeah with the
that
ants,
was.
right? Yeah,
Oh,
that one didn't
he got
bother me that much.
vilified for that.
Did he?
Yeah, because he set it up.
Oh, right. Well, because animal activists are gonna fucking bitch and whine about everything, but um,
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of cruel to do that just for entertainment's sake.
well, they
Even though out in
he
nature, it'd be like 8 times worse.
oh well, yeah, but I mean, he owns ants, and he's he has to feed them something.
Yeah, and they're fire ants too.
Yeah, that must have sucked. But in the name of science, but I mean, the point is that like I didn't really find that to be. I didn't have to turn my head away from that at all. I didn't fuck this up. Yeah.
Macho Man, Randy Savage.
Ooh yeah, that's not so bad. You tell around here
Mm,
though. I mean, you can kind of you know who I'm going for here at least, right? The thing is that
not really,
there's no.
no. It looks like some dude with a white snorkel and goggles on. He's got a white snorkel.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see that now. Uh,
I reckon if you went one down with the white,
okay.
Put the championship belt on him.
yeah, like that, and then well, not yeah, like 3 across, I guess, would be the smile. Yeah, that's better.
Uh,
But you need to get rid of those diagonals, I reckon, or at least one of them, like the corner, the one next to his glasses. Yeah, that one. Yeah. Oh yeah.
ooh, yeah. Well, it's supposed to be a robe, so I mean, detail the robe a bit, like make it look like a fucking robe. First of all,
Did he ever get the championship?
yeah, he won the King of the Ring tournament. Was against I think he had 8 other opponents. At the end, he fought. Who did he fight?
I forget who
I forget who.
Rowdy Roddy Piper had, because Rowdy
He-
Roddy had a partner that died as well.
right.
He's
Yeah, Roddy
because
Piper.
Rowdy Roddy always tag team, didn't he, with the other dude? Fuck, I can see his face, but I can't remember who he was. But the match when that guy stopped, Rowdy Roddy's partner stopped. Him and Macho Man teamed up, I think.
Mhm.
Who was Rowdy Roddy?
He
Rowdy
won
Roddy Piper.
WWF Heavyweight Championship twice and WCW World Heavyweight Championship 4 times.
Mhm.
He held several other world titles and regional promotions.
He was Intercontinental Champion a bunch of
One
times.
time WWF Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion.
Mhm. Um, but he won.
1987 WWF King of the Ring. 1995 WCW World War III. Yeah.
Yeah, he won. That King of the Ring tournament I was talking about was against Ted DiBiase that he won against the Million Dollar Man.
$1 million man.
Yeah, but he won it through interference on Hulk Hogan's behalf. Hulk Hogan got in the ring and uh, hit Ted DiBiase in the back with a chair.
That fucking sellout shill motherfucker.
You piece of shit, Jew bastard. He's calling people jabronis a lot too.
Jabroni. What the fuck's a jabroni?
It's like a wrestler type insult. Um, actually, well, let's look that up. Actually, jabroni.
From what I recall, a jabroni is like a wrestler that throws a match, but I'm not sure about that.
Oh yeah, it's strictly according to dictionary.com, it's a professional wrestling term. A wrestler who loses in order to make another wrestler look good. So also called a jobber. Yeah.
Yeah, I lost interest when they started doing. They did. Um, I mean, I guess I grew out of it because I was just a kid, but um, they did like a. I don't know. It was a blue. They had a big blue cage, and I forgot who fought. I think it was Hulk Hogan versus. I think it was King Kong Bundy, and it was like King Kong Bundy was sort of like the ultimate villain. When you're a
Yeah,
kid, you know, you like look at him and go, "You're an asshole." Like
yeah.
he was that
They
villainous kind of character.
yeah they call those guys workers because they work up the crowd.
Ah,
Hmm.
yeah, he was a dick.
The more you know. I remember going
Because
to
he was
a
like he was real fat, you know, like he was just a mean looking dude. He was real bald and fat, and he was just yeah, and he had that real shitty like wrestling suit, like this the slings and that, like his to cover his fatness.
mhm.
I don't know, but yeah, King Kong Bundy was a dick.
Yeah, like I remember running it. We had festivals, like fairs, county fairs and stuff. And I remember one time I went, and I was pretty young, but there was a I'm sure they had. I don't go to many fairs now, but uh, there's a clown like sitting in a tank, and like you could throw. You have to spend money to throw balls at the like baseballs at a target. If you hit the target, then like the guy gets dunked in the tank. Like the seat falls out from under him and he goes in the water. But he was just sitting there and he was just calling everybody names and stuff. And yeah, that's a worker right there. Uh, but I remember getting real mad at him. It was a long time
I
I'm
ago.
still
remember
trying to
those
think of
tanks. They'd set them up at like school fairs, and they'd always put like whoever everybody hated in there. Like
Yeah,
like the teacher everybody hated. I don't know how they
right,
decided that. If there was like a vote.
right,
Sometimes it was the principal.
right.
It's like everybody wants to dunk you. Like people are spending lots of money just to dunk you because they hate you.
Right.
It's not very festive.
Yeah. They're workers, man. It's all work. So
damn it, Hot Rod Roddy Piper, and he had Hot Rod on his shirt.
mhm.
Who the fuck did he tag team with? Fuck, they were always. It was always him and this other dude. Was it? No,
Jesse the Body Ventura.
no. Jesse was always the commentator. Um, like 1985, 1986.
Uh,
It'd
Piper team.
be Greg
Piper team was
Valentine.
not Chavo Guerrero.
Greg Valentine.
Greg Valentine. Okay.
Is it Greg Valentine? No, he was one of the Hart brothers, wasn't he?
I'm looking at the Wikipedia. He said he
The
teamed
Hart
with
Foundation.
Tim Brooks, Rick Martel, uh, Jonathan Boyd, Buddy Rose. Let's see.
Damn it.
Oh, he didn't tag again until 2003 with Eddie Guerrero.
There's that one dude that was like Rowdy Roddy, and everyone hated him. Like everyone
Mhm.
fucking hated him, and he loved it. He loved everyone hating him. He was a real dick. He was fucking awesome. Um, man,
It might have been
I can't
Chavo.
remember all the characters. I just got to look at the pro wrestling, like the WWF figures. This is like
Mhm.
Junkyard Dog and yeah, George Animal Steel.
Well,
Actually, I'll just
yeah.
look at those.
Well, he might have teamed with some of those guys, yeah. But it says here that he won the championship with Chavo Guerrero and uh, Tim Brooks and Rick Martel. So
Jeez, all those bloody wrestling little figures. Holy shit.
Yeah. I used to have one of the Iron Sheik, ironically. I had no idea who the fuck he was at the time, but I had one.
Sergeant Slaughter. Holy shit. So he was later in the piece, Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it. There's a bloody little picture of all of them, but it's the image is way too small to make them out. Oh, there's the Macho Man.
Yeah. There's no escaping the Macho Man, yeah.
Those figures were so strange. They look really weird when I look at them now.
Yeah. Kind of larger than life.
Yeah, Andre the Giant looks hilarious. Was it Roddy Piper that used to wear the kilt?
Mm-hmm.
It was, wasn't it? Yeah, because Roddy
Yep.
Piper.
Right. He was plus he spoke with with a Scottish type accent. That was his whole gimmick.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were actually rubber. They were painted rubber. They weren't like it was elastomer because they were really flexible.
Yeah. He and Macho Man actually have a lot in common because Roddy Piper is supposed to be a bad guy, like a heel, and people liked him anyway. Like even though he was trying to work up the crowd, and that you don't get that a lot, like because you're supposed to be a bad guy. You're supposed to be telling people to shut up and fuck off and all this other stuff. And but people liked him anyway. And at that point, you got something going if people are going to like you no matter what.
Yeah.
And it was the same thing with the Macho Man. Like he was supposed to be a heel, but everybody liked him so much they weren't going to have it. So I mean, every once in a while he could work up a crowd, but so every once in a while they'll still boo him, but everybody liked him because for obvious reasons, and plus he had the beautiful Miss Elizabeth with him, so
Yeah, Miss Elizabeth was awesome.
yeah, she was hot. She was good looking, real good looking chick.
Oh yeah, she was. She was beautiful. And she was a change from the whole. Oh, that's right. They had the bloody Ruskies.
Mm-hmm.
Holy crap! That's bringing back memories.
That was the Iron Sheik's whole gimmick too, is that he was like an Iranian and he was like saying he's going to beat all the Americans, come here, and because he's a Olympic champion, which he wasn't. But
That's right.
right.
Iron Sheik.
180 degrees.
180 degrees, and then another 180, or another 360,
And another 360.
Mean Gene loved him, man. What's not to like, anyway?
My curiosity is killing me, just like the cat who will be killed by the curiosity.
Andre the Giant freaked me out.
Yeah, he's a big dude, but he was
He was freaky.
yeah. Well, I mean, people ended up loving him because of what was that movie? Princess Bride. And like outside of the ring, like he was a real teddy bear, apparently.
Yeah, just the size of his shoe. Or someone held up his shoe. Went, this is his shoe, and it's like,
Yeah.
what the fuck, man? A kid could sit in that thing. was crazy how big his feet were. Yeah, there weren't many of the original figures. Like they didn't, there wasn't a whole slew of them. There's just a handful, really,
Who's this now? Like the
of the
how many
original
figures?
rubber figurines of the
Oh,
WWF.
yeah.
Yeah.
I might actually have mine somewhere. Actually, probably not. I have to look around. Um, yeah. It's a little too late for me to get that crazy, by the way, Harry. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow my curiosity will be killing me.
What's that?
It's one of uh, Macho Man's promos. Hold on. Yeah. It's too late for that much madness. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to wake up everybody within like a mile radius with my madness.
Mean
What's that
Gene.
other one? Yeah, Mean Gene. I had another one. Let me see if I can find the one I was looking for. One of the better ones. Uh, it's gotta be somewhere in my history. So anime shit, wrestling shit, dogs and cats. The usual. Oh, here it is. Wait, no, this isn't it. Fuck. Oh, here it is. Nice. All right. All you need is 10 seconds is to watch this. And yeah, been working on this one. Oh yeah, Hulk Hogan.
The cream rises to the top.
We will rise to the top, yeah.
Nobody does it better. The cream will rise to the top.
Coffee.
On balance, off balance, doesn't matter. I'm better than you, Hulk Hogan, yeah.
Non-dairy creamer in hand. He just puts it in his pocket. He just flicks another bit away. Starts just pulling it out of nowhere. Where the fuck did he get that from? Oh, you're a freak.
Because I am the greatest, yeah.
Look at the sleight of hand with the cream. It's magic.
I'm the greatest heavyweight champion that ever lived, and I'm alive now. Yeah.
You say you don't know where the Macho Man's coming from? Yeah.
I fucking lost it when he opens his pocket and slips it in there. Man, Gene just looks at it and he's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" He flicks another one away. He's like, "Oh, it's just down there, I guess."
Your mustache is crooked.
Yeah, I remember. That was a good one. I mean, there's so many. Like he does so many. He has done so many promos, and they're all like. I mean, at the very least, he's entertaining, if not crazy.
I love how Mean Gene fired back. I don't remember what he said, but he fires back at him. And he's like, how did we get into this? Why are we insulting each other? He's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't want to insult you, brother.
Yeah.
Like one comment dude says, "This was back when cocaine was actually good and not stepped on bullshit like you get today." Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. True, man.
He's wearing a like really tight turtleneck t-shirt. It's like, how the fuck did he even get a turtleneck t-shirt? Do those things exist? For the Macho Man, they do. It's got his fucking name printed on it.
Yeah, custom made. Yeah, the best. Only the best for the best. You know. I'm saying, yeah.
What the fuck is like up with Randy's pinky? He's doing it to be fancy.
Yeah. Trying to accentuate a point. Yeah.
You get a beer because I need beer.
You do.
I hate it when people tell me they're drinking beer because it makes me want a beer.
I'm not much of a drinker myself, so I'm good.
It's so delicious.
Well, it depends on what you're drinking, obviously.
Only the best for the best. Oh, yeah.
Only the cream of the crop. Yeah. What kind of beer do you like? What's your favorite? Do you have a favorite, generally speaking?
I like lots of different beers, but my go-to beer is Torpedo.
Torpedo. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. From Sierra Nevada.
Okay. I like darker beers like Guinness and stuff.
Eh, they're okay in cold weather. Can't
Mhm.
drink that shit in warm weather, though. I can drink a Torpedo no matter what weather it is, hot or cold.
I like Land Shark too. I don't know if you've ever had that or not.
Land Shark, it sounds familiar.
I don't
A
know.
good
I don't know
Guinness
exactly
from
how
a
to.
pub,
Yeah.
from the tap, done right, that's really good.
Yeah. We have some Irish bars here, and they all serve Guinness straight from the tap. So it's good stuff.
How long does it take them?
Only like maybe a minute, I think.
Oh, they're doing it all wrong.
Oh, okay. They do the whole. They can actually draw like stuff like with the foam at the top. So they'll do like a little shamrock or something. Give you a nice pint worth of beer there. What kind of beer are you drinking there, Zysis?
I'd have to show you because it's better if I just show you.
Okay.
Because this is funny. Let me find it. Uh, 1984. Yeah, 1984. No, 88 actually. I think the 88 one's better.
Did you know Guinness in Ireland is only 3% alcohol? Actually, I don't know if this is still true.
It's
This is an old stat.
piss water, yeah.
Because they tax shit based on percentage, and 3% is the top of the lowest tax bracket, so they just went with that.
Yeah, but they drink the shit warm, so it goes to your head pretty quick. Warm Guinness. It comes warm out of the tap too. It's fucking straight out of the dick. I can't do it.
What's up with that?
It's cold as fuck there. Why would you want to drink something cold? It's like always cold there.
It's beer though.
It was like 37 today when I looked at the weather in Dublin. Fuck that.
The best cold beer is Victoria Bitter. You can get it working the plough. You can get it feeding the cows. Matter of fact, I've got it now. Yeah. You can get it taking a vow.
It snows in Ireland, right? Or is it too much
No.
Pacific Ocean around them?
No snow in
Or
Ireland, I don't
Atlantic, I
think.
mean.
I don't even know, actually. I don't think it snows in London either. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Rizzler might come over here, but I think he likes hanging shit on Pissy Pete. It was funny the first time, but man, like, you know, by the time they hit the 18th day in a row,
Yeah,
it was like, I'm fucking bored, man. Like, holy shit, I'm bored of this. It's like watching freaking Star Trek reruns or something. Like, Star Trek is probably the worst fucking sci-fi ever made. Like,
come on,
how do you win it? How do you win at Star Trek? Reverse the polarity. That's all you do. No, I mean the original series. It's fucking shit. It's just shit. Gene Roddenberry was a fucking plagiarist cunt. He just beat the dude who made Lost in Space to the cut. And that's a fact. He was on the set of Lost in Space and he stole it all. He said, no, fucking, you guys are too slow. He ran off and, yeah. Because the Lost in Space was a extrapolation of the Swiss Family Robinson. It was just the Space Family Robinson. It preceded Star Trek by a long shot. Lost in Space is the original sci-fi series. And I know a million Trekkies out there would argue till they're blue in the face with me, but they're actually wrong. I heard that from the horse's mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, an absolute freaking sci-fi fanatic told me. 'Cause, you know, Lost in Space is the original sci-fi series. And I know a million Trekkies out there would argue till they're blue in the face with me, but they're actually wrong. I heard that from the horse's mouth. Yeah, an absolute freaking sci-fi fanatic told me.
That's too
And he was a
bad.
Trekkie too, so yeah.
Uh,
But Gene Roddenberry stole it off the ABC, pinched it.
we got it. I like TNG, and a lot of people would agree that that TNG actually got better after Gene Roddenberry died. So it makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, yeah. The stories are really one-dimensional, and like the so-called science in
Mhm.
it wasn't scientific. Like none of it ever is.
So, Lawrence Krauss wrote
Lately, like the latest ones were good. The latest movies, I don't care what anyone says because I'm not a Trekkie. I'm not a fanboy, so I just look at the movie for what it is, and I enjoyed them, all of them
Mhm.
so far. I like the newest one too. That was good. But
I
shit,
didn't like the reboot, the original reboot. Wasn't a big fan of that.
oh, I had have done it so it's Captain Kirk and Spock again.
Yeah.
I don't mind it because they look the part. Like
Hmm.
you know, especially Spock. I mean, fuck, that guy's uncanny.
Yeah.
Next to Leonard Nimoy. Leonard Nimoy was a bloody awful writer. Holy shit, he was terrible. He wrote a comic book called The Primordials, and it was during the insurge of comics, like when the Batman film came out. Because suddenly my little quiet comic book store was crowded. Like fucking crowded as crowded because
Hmm.
of the bloody Batman movie, Tim Burton's Batman film. And so every comic, everyone who had an idea to write a comic suddenly wrote comics because there was money in it. And I've had this argument with my Comic League buddies because I'm in the Comic League of Australia, and it's funny because a Facebook message just popped up from them. But yeah, we were talking about that, how even these absurd writers came out of the woodworks trying to sell their name behind a comic book, like
Hmm.
Clive Barker and far out. There was so many. But yeah, Leonard Nimoy, he wrote this thing called The Primordials, and it was awful. It was absolutely awful.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think he lasted 8 comics and then kind of dropped it. Yeah,
I think he has a good voice. I haven't read any of his stuff though.
yeah, good voice. I like that bitch queen. I met Patrick Stewart. I had dinner with Patrick Stewart actually. I sat at the same table as him.
Hmm.
He's a weird kind of dude. His head's a little bit lopsided if you have never noticed.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like he's a little. Looks like he got beat over the head a bit. But I liked him when he was in Dune, even though
He was in
David
Dune.
Lynch really. Yeah, he was in
I didn't
David
know that.
Lynch's Dune, the movie. Yeah, yeah. He's Paul Atreides' trainer.
Oh.
It's like what's his name? I have a very special set of skills. Fucking Qui-Gon Jinn. I remember the character name, but I don't remember the actor's name.
Oh.
Taken. What's his name?
Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson. Yeah, he's in a movie called Krull. He has a small bit part in an original, uh, real fantasy sci-fi. Brilliant film. I loved it. Just some of the cinematics in the actual film were really well done for its day. But then everyone was into shit like the Labyrinth. I hated it. I hated the Labyrinth. I liked the Dark Crystal. Didn't mind Never Ending Story. But yeah, that was in the same year that Empire Strikes Back came out, and nothing held a candle to that. That movie was genius. The whole Star Wars franchise revolves around that one movie,
Hmm.
and the generations that watched it, because that movie was just something special. Because the director was 65, I think, or 67 when he directed that. Like he was a seasoned filmmaker, and he had sort of this huge budget to work with. So Jesus Christ, he made a fucking epic saga of a movie. It was brilliant because it went from snow to deep space to asteroid fields back to bloody uh, like a swamp planet to desert to it was just genius. It's truly what sci-fi fantasy should be like, especially an intergalactic sci-fi fantasy. Yeah, I love that. Bloody loved it.
Oh, dude, they're making a sequel to Goon, or they already made it.
To June.
Goon.
What's Goon?
You didn't see Goon? Watch
Probably
Goon.
have, but probably have. I watched the
Sean
first
William
20.
Scott,
Oh,
Liv Schreiber.
you'd have to tell me the plot.
It's a hockey movie.
Oh,
There is no plot. It's a hockey movie. It's basically a modern day slapstick.
well, it's not Youngblood though.
Youngbloods.
Youngblood.
I haven't seen that, but you should
Well,
watch Goon.
then you haven't seen a hockey film.
Yeah, sure
Damn,
thing.
that's a fucking dark movie, man. Because hockey's fucking violent. Ice hockey, fuck, that game is violent. And when I was in BC, a guy took me to see a game, and he was an asshole. Like, he put me right at the front, and he knew that's where the players would smash up against the screen. Fucking hell, man! I jumped back like 10 feet. Like, Christ, I thought they were going to smash into me. Yeah, and he was sitting there pissing himself. He's just like, ha ha ha, gotcha, motherfucker. Gets me stoned out of my brain and takes me to a freaking ice hockey match. Ass butt. Yeah, I haven't seen Goon. What is it? House in the Woods? Have you seen Shrooms?
Watch that link I sent. It's only like 40 seconds.
No. Where'd you send it? Oh, you dick, you put it there, okay. I mean,
Look, new guy. 2 rules. Stay the fuck away from my fucking Percocets. And 2, do you have any fucking Percocets?
That actually looks funny. I might have to watch this.
your mum's pussy's so tight, you must be adopted. Oh, it's brilliant. I'm going to see this. Yeah, it's like Super Troopers. They did a GoFundMe. They did like crowdfunding. And where's the fucking movie, you cunts? They raised like 20 million or something. I mean, that's enough to make a bloody movie, isn't it? It's more than enough to make a movie. How much are these assholes expecting to get paid? Someone filled their pockets with a lot of fucking money. They're cruising around a Ferrari going, yeah, I'll probably make it one day, Could do us some more money, but because, this Ferrari's getting old. Bloody shitheads.
You fucking Chernobyl motherfuckers.
Give me back my fucking helmet. So the best part about watching someone draw is you stop watching for a while, and then you can come back and see the progression and see dramatic changes. Oh yeah! Oh, you put a boot in there. I like that. Rumpus.
Why don't I get an avatar?
You just got to do the lamp. Actually, no, you do the freaking dick dude. The ball sack dude. Can't you just like tag the end and then fill it? Or you just...
Yeah.
Oh, it's the shadow, I get it.
Well, it's the outline. The dude. Everybody has an outline. Try to make this a bit more consistent, but I mean, one of these things is not like the other. Like, uh, like the Karas and the Macho Mans, they're kind of similar. This is a little different.
And
You
Thor
got the
looks
big
like
ass
he'd have a,
going on. Right.
Thor looks like he'd have a body slam against the Macho Man, though.
Yeah. I mean, they
They're
could
kind of...
feud, why not? But to answer your question, Harry, I don't really know what to do with you yet. So I'm kind of doing like if I do make a game out of this, like I'm just kind of doing the player characters, ones that could potentially be a player character.
Yeah, he'd be a lamp, like, and he'd move like a pogo stick.
Right.
I could be Balzak.
Right.
He'd be a ball sack.
You just give it legs.
I can't have a ball sack, a hairy ball sack jumping around as a player character. I'm sorry.
Sure you can.
No. But I'll figure something out. Don't worry.
Who made this rule? Never heard this rule.
Why are you the arbiter of bloody ball sacks? Like, come on.
Right.
Don't be so suburban.
I'll make him an avatar. Like, he's going to be in the game. Just don't worry. Got you covered, fam.
I think you're doing this hard. Just saying.
I'm doing. Yeah, I'm sure I am. But...
You're not doing the pixel trick that I showed you.
No, not yet.
But hey, there's no point changing it now. Even if you reduced it to that, you wouldn't lose any resolution because, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm just doing it pixel by pixel right now. Well, not really pixel by pixel, but block by block.
You're going to change to my method you watch.
I will.
You will.
I'll do it after this one.
You will be.
I will. Don't worry. After this one.
Yeah, because it's like it'd be super accurate and easy for you to do.
Right. I'm not really sure who I'm going to do next, though. That's the thing. If anybody. This might be enough.
Pixel art in Minecraft. It's like the best thing you can do in it.
Well, yeah. I saw a bunch of those, and those are actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I was Lobo in Minecraft. My pixel art was way better than anyone else's because I had a skull on my back. And Lobo is like the meanest, most orneriest bounty hunter in the galaxy.
Nice.
I mean, he killed his own home planet just so he could be the only one.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing screams badass like that. And he's the only villain to actually... Well, he's not really a villain. He's not really a hero either. He's just like an anti-hero. But he's one of the only dudes to kick the fuck out of Superman, which makes him my hero. Because Superman's like Captain Goody Two-Shoes.
I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah, the last Sazanian. But he's only ever drawn good by Simon Bisley. Well, and me. But I've never drawn a comic, so...
One day.
One day maybe.
One day you'll do anime.
Yeah, no.
Or maybe not. Right.
I'm not that good. Those guys are really, really good, man.
Well, yeah, some of them.
It's really off-putting when you watch some of those anime artists.
Mm-hmm. No, I usually get turned on by that.
Yeah, they're very clever.
Right, Harry?
Eh?
Never mind.
Harry was too busy having a hissy fit, I think.
I was having a hissy fit? I was burping uncontrollably.
Oh. I thought you were snorting piss.
Inject dehydrated piss. I hear that's really good for cancer.
Yeah. Enough about Pissy Pete, though. I couldn't help it. I don't know why.
Yeah. I mean, he's too easy though. It's like picking on a fucking clown, saying, "You're a clown."
Yeah, pretty much. I made that point a while ago. Is that it's just kind of child's play.
Yeah, and then I got accused of being an SJW.
Huh.
Like I'm a social justice warrior for saying you call yourselves intelligent and you're picking on a fucking someone with a mental disability.
Right.
Like, yeah, you're real intelligent. It's like asking the laughing man why is he laughing. It's fucking stupid.
I don't know. I have my questions about it too, but I mean, uh, some people do come off as sort of holier than thou, you know.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, it's mainly why I switched off from it. I'm
uh,
the arbiter of everything. Yeah, you might want to leave your house before you fucking declare yourself to be that, hey?
yeah. No, I mean, there's some guy that went in there just the other day. He called himself like a flat Earth apologist, and I was just like, okay,
Cathexis.
yeah, that jabroni.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I learned not to do that in the first like few days I was here. Like, I mean, how can you not? You know, how can you
Yeah,
be
and he's
so
played
so
that
disconnected? You know,
he's played that same fucking tune for 2 years. Like he has not changed his tune one bit.
right?
It's healthy to be questioning the current narrative.
Oh yeah,
We should be
fuck off.
questioning what we all believe, and it's like, yeah, nah,
I mean,
fuck
it's
off.
yeah, right. Like it's like he doesn't watch this shit. You know, or he doesn't listen
Yeah,
to this.
question the food industry, the oil industry, question plastics, question real shit. Question what's going on in Europe, in France. Question what's fucking going on in Saudi Arabia. The shape of the planet. Like seriously, are you that unimaginative? There's tons of really cool shit going on. Tons of shit like bullshit going on to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But nah, I mean, the so-called globers are easy to trigger. Like, it's just so trivial. All you have to do is go, the Earth is flat, and then like you get 15 people jumping down your throat. It's like, wow, you guys get trolled like it's like you fucking 12-year-olds playing Minecraft.
Yeah,
Triggered.
like especially when it gets to around happy time, or happy hour, like when there's like a bunch
Yep.
of drunk people in there and they just want to shout at people or whatever. But like early in the morning and sometimes in the afternoons, like you can go in there, you can have a good discussion with Thors or Cordis uh, or even Rumpus, and you know, uh, and that's why I go there. I don't really, uh, I'm not a big, I'm not big into like, just beating flat earthers into the ground. But at the same time, I mean, there is some comedic value in it, at the very least. Um, in my opinion, anyway.
I just
Yeah.
say we tell them the Earth is flat and they win. Maybe they'll move on with their lives or something.
Well, and also like I suggested we close the book on Pissy Pete a long time ago. Like, um, but the problem is that like I think they realized that no other flat earthers want to get in there, and especially not with the flat earthers that do seem to want to get in there are the ones that are likely to snipe you, like A4 and Von Helton. Well, yeah, Von Helton. He'll play mute wars and stuff. Like he's not open to a discussion. Well, Matthew goes in there too, but Matthew, I don't know. Matthew's just part of the like he just seems part of the usual crowd now.
Well, he's just a troll. I mean,
He was called
it's a
out on
given.
multiple occasions for being what he is, a troll, and now he's kind of given up, I think.
Yeah. I mean, most of
Uh,
them are trolls. Even Pete's a troll.
yeah, I think I don't know. I don't know about Pete really. He said earlier, like I caught him earlier, like in the chat, like he said that he's like the sun was gonna roll around again tomorrow. I'm like, dude, it's gonna roll around again tomorrow, really? Like, that's not a flat
Yeah.
earther would say. That's not something a flat earther would say. Because if it rolls around, like where the fuck do you think it's rolling from? Why would it roll?
Well, he's come up with his own little sophisticated kind of troll,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean he's flogging that dead horse because he digs up a really old flat Earth video that's long debunked, and what a lot of people don't realize is that most of the people who are in the globe crowd, like the debunking crowd, they're all noobs. Like as far as I'm concerned, they're noobs. And I've said that to them, like they don't know the counter arguments, they don't know the rebuttals, they're just reacting. And it's hilarious to me that Red's rhetoric of all people will actually fall into being trolled so easily. When, I mean, he acts like he's the star child of the entire flat Earth debunking thing, but he's not. 5 red pairs is. All of us used to actually refer to 5 red pairs, not Red's rhetoric. He was an afterthought. He wasn't the first to make videos debunking flat Earth. It was 5 red pairs.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's skepticism. You could say has leaves something to be desired there. But I mean, there's still people that go there that I do respect in some degree.
Yeah.
Particularly Thor and Rumpus and Negator. He doesn't go in there that often. Kara.
Well, Negator's old school.
Yeah.
Him and Termin are original. They're the real deal.
Right.
They're like skeptics, yeah.
The people I'm not so sure about. Paper. I mean, he seems to just want to fucking go in there and yell at people. He get drunk and yell at people.
Yeah.
Rizla, like, I mean, he's not there to teach anybody anything, and like he's just. I mean, again, he just seems like somebody who wants to just get into like a shouting match, and kick people and snipe people like based on his prior dealings with them. Even myself, like I think I tend to chase red herrings too often, but I did pick up on Pete's. I mean, like I said, I thought we should close the book on Pete a while ago.
Yep.
So yeah, and I'm kind of new. I'm still really new to the game. The whole sketch.
Pete's a newbie.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a.
I mean, the old school flat earthers are all gone.
Yeah.
All of them. They're all gone. Yeah. They used to. I've debated each and every single one of them, like P-Brain, you name it, except for the main cult, like what I call the cult, because they stay the fuck away from me, man. Like they learn that pretty quick.
Well,
because I ripped into Antonio Subarat's the first video he made back when he was a little newbie, and he hid under Patricia Steers' skirt, and he started getting in with that crowd, fucking Nathan Oakley and Patricia Steer. Yeah, which it's hilarious to me that they were fucking like. Here's Antonio, like 48, fucking Patricia Steer, like Miss Facelift, fucking what, she's 62 or something? Like, okay.
Yeah.
Age ain't nothing but a number.
Oh, she's gross, mate. Like, oh, no thanks.
Yeah. I think some older ladies can look okay, but generally not at that age.
Yeah, she used to show a picture of herself before she used to get on camera. She had a picture of herself when she was like in her probably 30s. And she looked decent. Like she looked like, a decent looking woman, but then she got on camera and it's like, whoa, geez, okay, fuck. And she's got the slick back hair and it's just like, wow, your freaking hairline's crawling back there.
Well, slightly different topic. I was in Steve McRae's channel the other day, and do you know who that is? I'm assuming you do.
Yeah.
Right. Like he has an avatar, and I think it's him in his like late 30s, early 40s. Yep. Right. He was on camera, and he has like, right. He turns on his camera. He's completely bald, and he's got this big white beard. And honestly, he like looking at his avatar and listening to him speak, I'm like, I find this guy really fucking annoying. Like this guy just thinks the world of himself, and he's a real fucking, he manipulates a conversation, everything like that. But he turned on his camera, and I'm like, this guy's actually cool. Like I don't know. Like it was just yeah. He didn't seem like such a dickhead. Like after that.
But what gets me is like Steve McRae. I mean, he's a nice bloke. I don't have many bad things to say about him. But well, I don't know. It comes off weird to me that here's a guy who's got a degree in physics, yet he's a shelf stacker at fucking Walmart.
He's a what?
Like,
Oh, is he?
he's a
I
shelf.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
He's an
You know what I
underachiever.
mean?
Well,
Like,
I can relate. Yeah, you know.
but it just doesn't gel well with me.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
but
and
I
it's like
mean
Red's
that is
rhetoric.
strange. I didn't know
People
that.
make out that Red's rhetoric acts like a fucking rocket scientist, yet he's an insurance salesman.
Hmm. Yeah,
You
but
know,
a nation full of underachievers over here, man.
yeah. Quartus acts like a goddamn maths major, yet he's a bloody programmer.
Well, I can respect being a programmer, but he didn't he do something with Cordis? Like, didn't he? Uh, I forget what he said he did with it. I don't remember if he said he invented it or he made the language or what. I don't remember that.
Yeah, he's worked on languages. I mean, that's trivial. It's not, you know, it's just
Mhm.
dialects. It's not like he's Linus or anything.
Yeah. Well, who
Like,
else invented like it was who's that chick or the fuck, can't think of her name. The one that was on who did debate Coliseum? Nadia.
oh,
She,
Nadia,
yeah,
the
she
tranny.
invented. Yeah, she invented like Linux, or she helped invent Linux or something like that.
Bullshit.
No, she has her name in
Bullshit.
the. No, she. You would see her name in the part that the part that she actually wrote
Yeah,
for it.
probably assembled a kernel or something like way back in the day, but
Yeah.
Linus needed no help in creating Linux. No fucking way, man. Yeah, I know a guy that worships Linus.
Uh,
Told me all about him. I mean, he wrote a freaking operating system that was like an A4 page. He wrote the operating system for the Casio bloody digital watch. The guy is seriously a genius. Like, he is a legit genius.
uh,
He is absolutely astonishing. He's not only his knowledge of um like theoretical mathematics, but oh my god, that guy is just fucking out there. Yeah, I
right.
mean, he basically created Sun Systems, which, geez, Sun Systems, their operating systems. I mean, he created the blueprints for that, and their operating systems are in, oh my god, like 3 million different devices. Like, yeah, he is the god of programming.
That's cool. But no, somebody told me that I don't know if it's Linux or Unix or what, but she did something with it.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know.
but
I don't know.
still doesn't hold a candle to someone like Linus.
Well, no. Sure. Well, there's always going to be somebody better than you.
Well, Linus wrote
Right.
Linux.
Right. I mean, I mean, no matter what you do, there's
Mm.
somebody that's going to be better than you. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. But I got a buddy he's a
Do
naval intelligence.
you see this?
David Boyce. Sorry,
You see this?
what's that?
I tried to like make her look thinner, and then I scrolled back.
Yeah, got a bit of a raging hard on happening.
That's not right.
Obviously Asian.
Shocking.
Yeah, my buddy, he was the guy I went to school with. Like, he was like the full nerd, crazy math nerd, and
Yeah.
he wrote these hacking operating systems for jets, for fighter jets,
Hmm.
where they'd actually do remote hacks,
Hmm.
and they could hack a fighter jet in like 16 seconds. Like, ridiculous. The guy was absolutely ridiculous. I mean, he hacked when he was in year 8, like he was 13, and he hacked the entire school mainframe or whatever. and changed everyone's grades and messed around with all their databases, and he got into the education department, and yeah, he was doing some really naughty stuff. And
Naughty
yeah,
boy.
he's been approached by the NSA and all kinds of stuff, but he works for the Navy now, and he's crazy. The guy's a loon. I used to play World of Warcraft with a kid named Jin Huan, and at the ripe old age of 14, he got ripped out of school, employed by the biggest bank in the world. Yeah, he's a true math genius,
Nice.
absolute math genius. And all the add-ons that people use in World of Warcraft, most of the add-ons that you use, like Auctioneer and Postal and all that, he wrote them all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, he could write fucking Lure in his sleep.
Were
So
you
I kind of
on,
hung around sort of like big wigs like that.
Mhm.
So yeah,
I've been wanted to ask you,
I'm hard
were you
to
playing?
impress.
I don't think back then they didn't have Aussie servers back then, or I don't know
No.
what they call them now.
Yeah, the way to test whether an Aussie was
Oceanic,
an
I think.
actual legit, the way to test if an Australian was a day one World of Warcraft player,
Uh-huh.
the first releases that came out of Warcraft that we got, there was a little slip of paper in there saying the unofficial servers for Australia is Frostmourne Alliance and Blackrock Horde.
Oh,
Yeah, and that was in the first 10,000 copies or whatever sold in Australia. And if you don't know that, then you weren't a day one roller for World of Warcraft in Australia.
right.
Yeah, useless facts.
Right. Well,
Ooh,
unless
here
you're
we
talking
go.
about World of Warcraft.
Drag car. Sorry.
Yeah.
I can't help it. My window's open.
Was that you? I thought that might have been Harry.
No, I'm at the end of a street, and
Mhm.
guys like to use my little strip my street as a drag strip. No police come up this end of town. They don't need to.
It's pretty quiet where I live. There's a pretty big street down the road a bit, but I don't really ever hear it unless a truck goes by.
Mhm. Well, I'm right next to the street.
Yeah.
I don't know how much you can hear from my window, uh, but every once in a while a train will go by, like not too far from here. But yeah, it's pretty noisy.
I used to love living in Charlotte because where I lived was like this. I know at the back there was like the train line, and there was the World Leaders College. But there was this train line, and middle of the night you'd hear this whop whop ting 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 ting, and it would just go for ages, and it would just knock me to sleep. Just the ASMR would kick in and be ta-ting, 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 like the sound of the the rail going between the gaps in the tracks,
Mhm.
cha-chunk, 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 and it mesmerized me because these trains would be like 3 miles long or something.
Right.
They just go for ages. I loved it because it just set me off. Yeah. I miss those
Wanted,
days living with a nice young stripper.
yeah,
Typical me.
typical you.
Yeah, girl's coming by next week, and she's like, "Have you got a girlfriend?" I'm like, "No," and she goes, "Well, get a girlfriend so we can have a threesome."
There you go.
I'm like, "This is why we're friends."
Hmm. Friends with
I like
benefits.
my girls. Oh, I like my girls. They're realists, not little. Oh, I'm so dainty and petite. Fuck off. Oh, I lie back on my couch. Oh, ow.
It's about that time, isn't it?
No, I've been leaning over, because I did a lot of. Oh, I had to look at a lot of guys' work today. Because yeah, I'm. Oh, I tended for a director's spot, art direction, and I'm hoping to direct a. So I was introduced to all the team and blah blah blah, and because they like my style, of logo design, and they're doing a launch, so we're all excited. It's going to be something new and innovative, and wow, and whoopee, and yay, and you've got to have that whole enthusiasm for the product launch, and it's a global launch, and it's real top secret, and blah blah blah, and so I was leaning over people's shoulders, basically watching them work and strutting their stuff and showing me their modeling work and their desktop work, and I get to play director, so I like that. I like that seat. So yeah, and you go into contracts and you got it clauses and blah blah blah. You can't talk about it, and yada 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 yada. Because it's a multi-platform release and all this stuff. So, but I get to direct. Well, hopefully I'll get to direct it. Well, I kind of am, but it's just my role's kind of hands free in a sense. Just going for the the curves in the right spot and right colors and refine the design basically. But it's creative consultant. That's really what it is. Which is what I did. Did it turn it? And I just got a sore lower back from it because you're leaning over all the time and your whole body weight's suspended by your lumbar, and you get really sore in the back.
Yeah.
Because I don't work that muscle much.
Yeah.
I'm leaning across
pain.
like that. And
I
try not to be invasive. Like I try to, watch someone without actually, breathing in their ear.
Right.
Yeah. But it's a nice, young, enthusiastic, talented team, and they've got, lots of money to spend, and it's an established company, and they're looking for an Asia Pacific launch, and hoping to tap into the Chinese market. So it's a multi-language platform as well. So there's a lot of work to do, but they're looking for a sort of a comic style look, but more of a dynamic feel. I don't know, hard to describe, but yeah. So
I gotta use the little artist room. I'll be right back.
Little artist's room.
Yeah. BRB.
The padded cell. Oh Christ, my back. I blame Harry for this. I get a town car come and pick me up.
Fuck did I do?
I got a town car come and pick me up this morning, right? The guy goes, "Oh, do you want a drink?" I'm like, not really. And he goes, "Well, there's drinks in the fridge." I open the fridge and it's full of beer. And he's an Asian guy, and he goes, "Beauty, mate, yeah?" Like the way he said it, I was just like, what the fuck? It's 9 a.m. Do you think I'm going to drink beer on the way to a freaking meeting? What the fuck do you think I am? He thinks that's normal. I should be drinking beer. I'm Australian. I should be drinking beer at 9 a.m. on the way to a bloody meeting and walk in there with beery breath and say, "Hi, everyone. What's up? I just had a couple of snifters on the way to..." Yeah, so I'm not drunk at all, but what's up?
That's what Banaka and Cologne are for.
Yeah, I'd rather not just drink. Like, I have one beer, like, just then, and I'm already feeling it swimming around in my head.
I'll have a Sam Adams. Jerry, it's 10:30 a.m. and I'm trying to wash the taste of beer and hooker spit out of my mouth, or weed and hooker spit.
Weed and hooker spit.
In that case, I'll have a Sam Adams too.
I gotta remember some of the Jack Nicholson lines from The Shining when he's at the bar, because fuck, he did some good lines there. Glad to be away from listening about double slit experiments, because a double slit experiment for me is like an Asian girl and a Scandinavian girl doing naughty things. That's the best double slit experiment I could think of. I dated a girl once in Hawaii, and she was Swedish cross Hawaiian. God damn, she was pretty. She had beautiful teeth, like a shark. She had this really straight. It's like she had more teeth than normal people. Very strange looking girl.
I don't like that talking about that experiment anymore either. It's just something people use to assert some sort of like God of the Gap shit.
Yeah, yeah, using a simple explanation to explain everything.
Yeah, a simple explanation to the most complex fucking thing that we know about.
Refraction, yeah.
Well, yeah, whatever.
Well, not refraction, is it? Double slit's like way more complicated than that. I can't say I've read much about it, so I don't much care. And I don't listen to people when they talk about it because they're not fucking, you know, the people performing the experiment. So it's secondhand info, and I don't care for it.
Well, I mean, it's been simplified to a point where I mean, people can talk about it, and some people talk about it more in depth than others. But um, I don't really like it because it feels like an initial test to the quantum, you know, and people are like, well, we don't fucking understand this, so I can pretty much just say that like anything is possible because we don't understand this fucking experiment, you know, or the results of this experiment, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's like, get the fuck off me with this bullshit. It just enables this. I mean, and this is how far like the religious people need to go, you know, in order to make that assertion. They need to go to the very fringe of the fringe type, you know, stuff. I mean, they don't say, you know, they don't say God is possible because evolution is true, right? They right. I mean, they don't say something like that, like, or like God exists because the planets orbit themselves or each other or the sun, or they're tugged by other planets. They don't say, you know, like things that we understand. They don't say, oh well, God did that. They have to go to the fringe of the fringe. Like, they have to go all the way. They have to go back before the Big Bang to make the God assertion. Which, and there's nothing before the Big Bang.
Yeah, it's funny because in that discussions, there's a lot of guys that are really poorly read on the latest stuff that's going on. Like they're repeating stuff that's like 30 years old, and it's just not true. Like it's long been changed, that point of view, and it's stuff they learned in school, 30 years ago, and it's like, buddy, that stuff's like fucking old, man. Like
Yeah.
it's older than you almost. Like, what are you talking about? And because it's not taught in schools, or they haven't gone to the latest schooling, or I don't even know if it's taught in schools or whatever, but most of the physics we learn, especially classical mechanics, is bloody old. It's not, it's not cutting edge latest stuff. Not that there's not much to go by, in cutting edge latest stuff, but like they're talking about telepathy, saying, "Oh, that's not true," blah 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 blah. Oh, really? So 2 years ago, the Smithsonian actually proved that teleportation exists and actually found the cellular matrix in the human brain that attributes to telepathy. So what have you got to say now? And they're like, "Oh, that's crap. You're speaking shit." Well, here's a Smithsonian fucking article about it and all the papers and all the citations, all the scientists involved. So you go and call them full of shit, will ya? They're the freaking guys that you appear to worship. But so they have hypocrisy. They only believe what suits their paradigm, and they have the same view as a flat earther. They're not open to new ideas, or if you present a new idea that's outside of their paradigm, they just reject it off the hand. And then they've got a crowd sitting there jeering behind them going, yeah, yeah, yeah. This guy's always right. He's never wrong. He's the most intelligent of all of us. It's like, actually, he's not, but okay.
Right. Flat earthers do that shit too. You know?
Oh, yeah, yeah. I don't draw lines. Like I just see the individual.
What I meant to say is that, I mean, they would be the most guilty of that. Right.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Yeah. And not teleportation. I mean, teleportation's been proven as well. That's not pseudoscience. Telepathy is not pseudoscience. The psychic phenomena is certainly not pseudoscience. there's been plenty of evidences where people have actually been utilized in seeking out objects or people or missing persons and been proven to be right. And how do you explain it? You fucking can't. Like, nobody can.
Well,
But to
I think
assert that
now
it's
you're
all
getting
bullshit.
now you're getting off on a beaten path. Like I think we might have to cross swords there because because the Randy challenge, Randy whoever, like when you put those sort of things to some real scrutiny, they don't seem to exist. Like, and with the missing persons thing, like they might get lucky every once in a while, but I mean there's a lot of examples where they do get it wrong and they end up making things worse.
Yeah, I'm well aware of that. The rule
Right.
of numbers, like just because they get one strike right means they're right all the time, whereas you don't count the 500 times they're wrong. It's like gamblers. Gamblers never talk about their losses because they always talk about their wins. You think gambling's good. It's profitable because a good gambler never talks about their losses. Yeah.
Right. I can think of
But
one
there have
example.
been.
There was one lady. I forget. Well, I would have to find it for you, but I mean, there was a lady who said that somebody's kid was alive, and because a kid went missing, and she was telling the parents that she was still alive, and this is where they could find them, and they go there, they find absolutely nothing, and then a few months later, they find out that the kid's actually dead, and she said she had some sort of a bullshit excuse for it, and
I can cite those examples as well. Old Lady Winchester being probably the most blatant. I don't know if you know about Old Lady Winchester. Very good story, though.
It sounds familiar.
Yeah, well, she had a so-called psychic who was a charlatan telling her that, there was the spirits of all the guns killed by Winchester, chasing after her, and they wanted to get her.
Mm-hmm.
And she was obviously a millionaire because of Winchester rifles.
Oh, is that the lady who built that one house with all the mazes and stuff?
Oh, it's absolutely elaborate. It's a 300-bedroom freaking super mansion. It's absolutely elaborate.
Yeah, and she thinks that it's like a doorway into like the spirit world or something like that, a gateway to the dead.
No, she built this massive super home that was full of all these pitfalls and traps.
Yeah.
And false rooms and false floors and all that stuff. So the spirits would actually, never find her in this massive super house because that's like a labyrinth.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember hearing about that.
So she built it over like 40 years. But yeah, there's the cases of the military where they've used I don't know, they've used some sort of, it's like the men who stare at goats. And you don't know if it's true or fact, but the military have used these people that have, found military bases. Like we know the Russians are up to something, and they're like, "Oh, I think they're up to something there." And then they get spy satellite imagery, and they're like, "Holy shit, they are up to something there." Yeah, and the military sort of shelve these very, very rare people who have these abilities, and there's a certain set of rules for it. Their parents had to have died in a house fire because it's believed that these psychics have killed their parents using some sort of pyrokinesis.
What?
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Oh, there's a lot of pseudoscience behind it. There's a lot of bullshit, claptrap, fucking weird stuff, but
yeah,
it's hard to say whether it's true or false. It's
Well, from where I'm sitting, like
what I sit at, I sit at it as a truth candidate.
Well, I don't know. I would have to see some evidence for it. Like I would have to like some sort of like a scientific test to see if it actually worked. I don't know. But I'm open to the idea, but I'm not that open.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm like. Yeah, right. I don't necessarily shut it down and say, "Oh, it's a load of crap,"
right?
Because
hey, Ad,
there's some validity to it.
You live in California?
No, not even close. I'm on the East Coast.
You're an Eastie, dirty Eastie.
Right. You're not a Jersey boy, are you?
No, I'm in Western New York. You're Buffalo.
Because I was born in California, and so I'm a diehard Cali boy. Yeah, I come from a different country than other Americans.
My mom's from upstate New York.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
She's just.
Probably. I
You
don't
call
know.
it upstate New York, so your mum's a Jersey girl.
No, far away from Jersey.
Yeah, upstate. Yeah, I know.
Whereabouts? Do you know?
Near Albany.
Oh, okay.
Oh wow, that's out in the boonies, man. Like right by the lakes. Yeah, I don't know where
Mm,
Albany is, but
yeah. Not like Erie. It would be the other one.
I was up. My ex was her father worked for Budweiser at the Budweiser plant, and that was the middle of freaking nowhere in upstate New York. I missed that because of the white Christmas, the freaking snow. Holy crap! But they at the front of their house, they'd have a whole pine tree as their Christmas tree. This giant, magnificent tree, and they'd decorate that. It's unreal. I get some beautiful photos of it.
Yeah. It's not. Excuse me. It's not snowing here yet, but no, it's actually been pretty warm today.
So where are you, Maine?
No, I'm in Buffalo, New York.
Oh,
It's
Buffalo. Yeah,
it's close to Niagara Falls.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, over
So
by Buffalo, over to the right toward Maine.
mhm.
That's where I was. I forget the name of the town now. Holy crap, that's really bad of me. But
Rochester, Syracuse.
Syracuse. Yep,
Right.
right near Syracuse, right out in the boonies,
Yeah.
right near there. Yeah.
Albany's pretty far east from that. That's almost in Massachusetts. Uh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm hoping to go to Oregon to visit a couple of friends next year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I hear there's good fishing there. I don't know where you're gonna be though. It's a big state.
It is a big state, yeah.
Yeah.
He does he's a music guy. So I'm hoping to go over there and jam with him.
That's cool. What kind of music? Rock and roll?
Uh Metal, yeah.
Metal? All right.
Yeah. Yeah, you've
Very
heard
nice.
our music before.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you've definitely heard my music
What's the?
without you even knowing it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got a band name or anything like that I might recognize or?
Do I have to talk about this? I don't want
No, you
to.
don't know.
Ed, do you have insomnia?
Do I know?
You just
Well,
wake up at the ass crack of morning?
no, I'm still awake.
So you do have insomnia.
No, I woke up at around like 2 p.m.
Oh.
My sleeping schedule's
Jesus.
off. My sleeping schedule's all fucked up.
You're a serotonin addict. That's what I like to call you. You're a night owl. You
Oh
like the
well,
serotonin.
last night I was up until midnight watching movies, and then I laid down. I'm like, well, I laid down for about 45 minutes. I'm like, I can't fucking sleep. So I get back up and I sat in Steve McRae's chat room for about like a half an hour, and all the math talk just put me straight to sleep.
Yeah, get Steve McRae to talk about 0 to the power of 0.
Yeah, that put me. That was like a bedtime story for me, man.
Yeah.
I like your
really old.
molecular biology talks. I have no idea what they're talking
Oh,
about,
Jesus
but I'm
Christ.
really interested.
Right.
No, telomeres and stuff, yeah.
Like, what'd she just say? I don't know, but this is interesting.
It's
I was-
freaky stuff.
It was like a half hour, 45 minutes. I was just waiting for something I could talk about, and it was just all fucking just math. And I'm just like, oh, fuck off.
Yeah, I don't even bother joining that. He's like, you want to join? I'm like, why? So I can feel stupid?
Right.
Yeah, I'll be the dumb kid in the class just sitting around going, I don't know what the fuck you just said, man, but I agree.
Right. Yeah. I managed to get some Macho Mans in there, but it's that was about the extent to my contribution.
Yeah.
A couple years.
I was like, ooh yeah, get a little macho, yeah, a little madness rolling out there, yeah. Fucking, what was it? Oh yeah, I did get to mention him that I thought he looked a lot cooler with the microphone or his camera on. I was gonna make a
Yeah, I don't
comparison.
know who he's trying to fool there.
Man, I don't know if he just doesn't want to change his avatar or what, man. But that is so misleading.
It's his digital reflection of his physical self.
Oh, okay. Oh, there you go. That's
Digital reflection of his physical self. Holy shit!
I was trying to quote the Matrix, but I probably failed.
no,
They say something like that when they
no,
first
no.
bring him in.
Yeah, you had it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's your what do we call it? Your it's not your avatar, but it's your fuck. What do they call it in the Matrix? Your resonant image.
Yeah, there you go.
You know what I don't understand about the Matrix is kids.
Kids.
Yeah, how's that work?
Oh, fuck should I know?
What do you mean?
If you watch the movie, they I feel like they knew that that was kind of impossible to explain, so they just avoided it. The only kids you see in the entire movie are like getting prepared to be sucked out, you know?
Oh,
They're all
okay.
meditating and shit. None of them are with their parents or anything. You never see like kids with parents or anything
Well,
like
I don't
that.
know how I don't know how the breeding thing works,
Just
but I guess
adults.
yeah, I don't know how the breeding thing is supposed to work, but I would guess it would be some sort of gene replication, like artificial insemination and all that. And then like
Well,
they put them in.
they're test tube babies. Yeah, everyone's a
Right.
test tube baby.
I don't know.
Well, they're all hooked up to the Matrix through all those crazy like
Yeah.
uh human power plant things, but I mean, the woman could be in one place and the guy could be in really far away. So you're telling me that they combine their DNA, like they've got all that like going through the system and shit, and like that seems like a
Mm,
lot of work.
mm. Well, yeah. If you're gonna take it that far, I mean, it could be the computer code too that just makes it appear like they have a similar DNA, right? So when you get a DNA test, like I mean, it's gonna like the computer code would be like, well, just tell them that this is, that they actually share DNA or whatever, and then, but they would have an automated system to fucking produce kids and then pop them into some sort of like those energy extraction
They
tubes.
grow on trees, and there's these giant bug things that pluck them off the trees. They grow
Yeah.
in amniotic fluid. They're test tube babies that grow in amniotic fluid. Then they're in this like cell, and then they pluck them off the trees and suck them up, and then distribute them into the cells.
Mm-hmm. Something like that.
Which is they're known as tub born.
Hey, I get that. I'm just saying like the intricacies of reproduction because of the genes and all that.
Could
Or
just
do
be
they
the
just
genetic.
not bother with the genes? They just clone another human and they inject
Yeah.
a code that resembles a kid that would be there. So that's complicated too. Jesus
Right.
Christ.
Well, it's really not,
That's kind of
because they
complicated.
can.
Come on.
Well, I mean, they're done in utero, like they're not done in utero, so they wouldn't have to necessarily be clones either, because they could just harvest, dozens of, like all the eggs, because women only have a set amount of eggs, and women can actually sell their eggs. If you didn't know that, a woman can actually go to a genealogist and say, "I'm going to sell all my eggs," and they'll just suck all the eggs out of their fallopian tubes,
Ovaries, you twat.
ovaries, whatever.
Yo, they should remake the Matrix and make it so that Agent Smith is actually the Macho Man Randy Savage.
Oh yeah.
Just all of
That'd be
them,
pretty
and all of
cool.
them with that persona. Like, yeah, and they're all like multiplying. So you have like thousands.
Something right now, but I don't know
Just
what I should say.
thousands of them.
Like that scene where like Neo's being like surrounded by like Agent Smiths, and like you'll have some of them are like on the top of the building, and they're like, "Ooh yeah," and like, just like a whole chorus of "Ooh yeah."
Oh
And,
yeah,
like,
we're gonna
they
put the
all drop
smackdown
bombs.
on you, Macho Man, Randy Savage style. Oh
They're all
yeah.
like cutting. They're all cutting different promos, like at the same time. You just get this
I'm the
chorus
cream of
of
the
like,
crop.
yeah. Man, that would be amazing.
He does a triple suplex, just fucking backflip suplex, like flying backflip suplex.
Dude, I've got a guy who does shit like that. He actually works as an editor. Like he edits a lot of the trailers you've seen. Like he did the Hobbit trailer and shit like that. I'm gonna tell him about that. I bet you, I bet you he'll put something together.
That'd be sweet.
Oh, you want to see the edit? You want to see the edit of when Luke's sitting there talking to Obi-Wan, and he's like, "So what did you get up to on Dagobah?" And it's got Luke, Yoda fucking Luke up the ass. It's just that one scene, like a little clip when Yoda's on his back, and it looks like he's fucking Luke up the ass, and he's in pain. Like Luke's just going, "Oh!" like this, like scrunchy face. And Obi-Wan just looks over at 3PO, and 3PO just looks away. R2's just going, "Woo!" like. He's Obi-Wan's just like, fuck this, I'm going home.
That reminds me, Ad, did you watch the remake of the prequels? The Redemption, I should say.
They remade the prequels.
Not remade, but redid the
No,
Aeronauts.
no, I didn't see those.
Oh my god!
I saw the prequels, but I didn't see any remakes.
You have to see this. I know you'll love it.
Are they? Well, is this like a comedy remake?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's fucking cruel. It's cruel as fuck. It's like, why are
They
you
do
tormenting
so well.
me? You're destroying my childhood. You've got to find that you've got to see that clip with what did Luke get up to on Dagobah? Oh man, it made me cry with laughter. I showed my friends it, and they were just like, "You're fucked. There goes my childhood." I'm like, "Yep." That's what Luke got up to on Dagobah. Yoga was just fucking him in the anus the whole time.
I linked in the sidebar ad. You got to watch that sometime.
Fucking go.
That's why he rocks up to Jabba's joint. He's got like the fucking dead eye, you know. He's got the 1,000-yard stare because he's been to hell and back up in the swamps with fucking Yoda. You will be.
They made 3CPO into the most amazing character ever. He's fucking brilliant. He's called Creepio.
Creepy. What the fuck? Creepio. Holy shit. And Chewbacca's just a bikie. He just doesn't cut his fucking hair. Or he's like a Brazilian kid that had some sort of facial disease.
I'll watch these later when I have some time.
Yeah, it's probably a 2-hour investment.
Yeah,
But it's
Think
fucking
about it.
worth
Han Solo hangs out with a Wookiee, right, in deep space, and like they're sailors technically because they're on a ship. I reckon Han and Chewie had a bit of a thing going on.
Han and Chewie.
Yeah, Han and Chewie were
Well,
just friends.
I don't know how many. Have you ever played any Final Fantasy games?
Yeah, I
Final
played
Fantasy
7.
1 through 3 and Final Fantasy, whichever one came out on PlayStation 2, I played that one. That's it for me.
Well, you played Phantasy Star, the original Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy 10 and 11 and 12 were all on PlayStation 2.
Yeah, the first one I played, 10. That's what I played.
Final Fantasy 12 is actually based on Star Wars. Like all the characters are.
Really?
You could draw a direct correlation to every character in Star Wars to Final Fantasy 12. So if you like Final Fantasy 12, or I'm sorry, if you like Star Wars, you should play that.
I'm not exactly. I don't remember which number it was, to be honest. I
I'll
remember
give
it
you
starts out with like a volleyball or something stupid.
No, that's Final Fantasy 10.
Okay.
Hold on.
I always thought it was weird with Star Wars: The Old Republic, like the original Star, like not Knights of the Old. Yeah, it was Knights of the Old Republic, and there was that creepy Jedi killing droid, and he was as gay as fucking Liberace's handbag, man. And because everyone was so young, they didn't pick up on it. And God, he's a poofter. Holy crap, man.
This is
Like
one
he's
of
on
the
the
playable.
pink side of the force.
Yeah, this is one of the playable characters in Final Fantasy 12. It's kind of Playboy bunny sort of looking thing, right? Got
Oh wow, that's sexy as fuck.
right, and this is Final Fantasy 12's version of Chewbacca,
Oh wow.
right? And
Uh,
to completely set this up, like you have to go back. George Lucas actually based Star Wars off of some Japanese movies. I forget what the fuck they're called though. He spent a lot of time in like old school theaters and stuff like that, watching old school movies, and some of them were samurai movies and stuff, and from Japan or whatever.
yeah,
And so
yeah. I
and
mean,
the
hence the emperor.
storyline,
Yeah.
the storyline follows, or and plus all the aesthetics of it kind of follows this older movie, and he took it and he made Star Wars with it. And so this is, I mean, it's not a complete rip off for Japan to do the same thing. Like they were going to take Star Wars and make it into a video game or whatever. But yeah, this character is Chewbacca. Then uh, all the main characters have a playable character, like Han Solo and C-3PO and R2-D2 and Luke Skywalker and I think Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yeah.
Chewbacca
So
and
if you ever want a video
Chewie.
game to play, that would be up your alley, I think.
That's crazy, creepy, weird.
I can
What's
hear
that?
you
Like it.
smoking weed.
No, it's I'm lighting a cigarette. I don't smoke weed.
Not anymore. You bloody don't.
Oh no, you're right. Not a long time.
You're
Oh, you're
missing
doing
out.
it wrong. You quit the wrong one.
Yeah, you quit the wrong shit.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I smoked too much because I smoked while I was smoking weed, though. So now I smoke more than I should, more than I would.
Cigarettes to compensate for the fact that you're not smoking weed. Yeah,
Right.
I get that.
I wouldn't mind smoking a joint sometime, uh, but I wouldn't get. I would just want a joint. I wouldn't want like a whole bag of weed. 'Cause if I get a bag of weed, I just have to smoke the whole fucking thing.
Well, you got to
I'm just
pace
like,
yourself.
well,
Oh, you binge it.
I have a really, I'm Irish. I can't help it, man. I'm a binger.
Hmm.
Well, let me look
Yeah, I
up
get.
You know what you
Same.
need? You need a time lock, a time safe.
There you go.
Yeah.
But then you just take it out of the time safe and go, ha ha, time safe. I fooled you. You just take
Well,
it all out of
you have
there.
to have a moment of clarity in which to lock it into the time safe.
Mhm.
But
Well, yeah,
you
but
could
once
probably get like a custom safe that has like compartments. So you only need one moment of clarity, and it only
Mhm.
opens up one compartment a day. You know, so you have like your allotted amount daily.
daily dose.
Excuse me.
Jeez. Yeah, you
Yeah,
need a
thanks.
like a vending
Yeah, thanks,
machine.
Doc. Trying to find some more concept art for you guys from this game. Well, this
Jeez, I'd have
is
to go. I'm the same, man. I'd have to go to some elaborate fucking shit to stop myself from smoking it all at once.
right. This is Han Solo. Han Solo's counterpart. This is the fuck is his name now? Belfier.
What's wrong with his ass?
He's got no ass, does he?
Yeah, it looks like he shat himself like epically. Or he's just super prolapsed and he carries around his bowels and his like thighs.
Yeah.
Some nice
Uh,
artwork though.
yeah. Again, the aesthetics in this game is pretty good. This is a character named Bash, and I think this is supposed to be Obi-Wan. Pretty sure.
Bash prompt.
No, not Bash Front. Don't want to trigger you, buddy. Um, then this is Luke Skywalker. Right.
Typical Japanese.
Right. Yeah, you can kind of see where, I mean, it doesn't get much. It's kind of downhill after this, wasn't it? Um, but it's got some more stuff. This is C-3PO. and
Does she have a virgin alarm?
she might.
What?
Spaceballs reference.
A
But you can
virginal
kind of.
arm.
Have you ever seen Spaceballs?
Yeah, I just don't remember it.
Yeah. Yeah. The C-3PO thing had a virgin alarm. Well, that wasn't. That was supposed to be what's his face. Uh, C-3PO. Who did I say
Oh,
this?
that's a
No,
weird
this
looking.
is R2D2. Sorry.
Some weird looking physiology that, like the big thick forearm like that on a girl.
Yeah. Um, it's the art style.
Yeah.
Like this, it's hard to get into. Because there were more games that took place in Evilise, which is where it takes place before this, and it kind of stems off of that. It's probably just the artist, his interpretation.
Yeah, I don't
Well,
mind the crotchless looking look
this
though.
one's a little bit
Should have some
better, I think.
pink down there though.
I love the blurb for that Aeronaut Star Wars saga, our alternate Star Wars dimension, where the Jedi are douchebags, the Sith are business-savvy powerhouses, and the droids are mentally unstable sociopaths.
Right.
Yeah, I need to actually do a commentary on Star Wars because I think if you saw Star Wars through my eyes, you would be really disturbed by the end of it. Because holy shit, most of those characters in Star Wars are fucking dicks. And I don't know how people can't see it. They're just blind to it. They just see laser beams and bloody, you know, like blowform suits and go, yeah, yeah, this is awesome. But they don't actually look at the fucking storyline. Like Obi-Wan was such a
Nobody seems to pay attention to the Game of Thrones storyline either. Like, what's that bitch's name that Sam banged? She's had a kid, an infant kid, for like years. That kid doesn't age. This is the oldest infant ever.
It's
It's
true. And
true, isn't it? Yeah.
yeah, they went down to the father's place and the baby's still a baby. And it's like, what the fuck? Is that kid not growing up? Okay. I guess it suits the story.
Yeah.
Like, look at
Yeah.
Bran. Look at Bran. Like compared to, I think she was in her baby was introduced in season 2, right? Bran in season 2 still looked like a tiny little boy. Look at him now. He looks like he's about to turn 18 or something.
Yeah.
Looks like he's about 6 feet tall.
Yeah. And Arya, she's turning into ET. She's going to phone home soon and they're all
Dude,
fucked.
she was pretty cute. Like, she was a cute little girl when it started. Now she's looking all awkward. She's getting into her awkward teenage years.
Yeah. And like, I don't know, her bottom jaw isn't growing at all. And her forehead just seems to be like inflating and her eyes are like pushing apart and she's starting to look like a goldfish. Like, fuck, I'm cruel, but holy shit, she's really gross. And she's my favorite character in the story too, in
I
the
always thought
novels.
Reese Witherspoon looked like a sperm whale with that forehead.
I like Game of Thrones though.
Yeah, I do like uh the Lannister. Oh god, what's her name? She's a fucking spunk.
Mm.
She's
Yeah.
Cersei.
she's right, Cersei. Yeah, holy shit. And we're we're around the same age, so she's ripe for the picking for me.
Go for it, man.
And she looks like an Aussie girl. She looks like a typical Aussie
I think
girl.
she is actually. I might be wrong about
Bottle
that.
blonde, bit of a bottle blonde.
There's a theory that the hell's that
Uh,
bitch's name? The
uh,
Dragon Queen?
yeah.
Daenerys.
Daenerys and Dragon's kid is actually Tyrion.
Huh. Uh-oh.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's just basically Tyrion's a time traveling fetus.
Doesn't make
Great.
any sense.
Remember the witch?
Yeah.
Supposedly, she used black magic to switch places with the Lannister child that was going to be a stillborn, and put Tyrion into her womb.
Yeah, it's doing
I'm
some
not sure. Yeah,
weird
I'm
ass
not sure. I can believe
backflips.
I'm summarizing dramatically, but yeah, it's a huge theory. It's rather
Yeah,
popular. I don't subscribe
it's
to it, but it's interesting.
like Stinky Finger. He's a fucking pedo because he was like around when, like, he's the same age as Sansa's mum. Now he's got a crush on Sansa, and Sansa's like 17, and he's like in his 40s. Like, pedo finger's pretty, yeah. Stink finger, little finger.
Oh, Littlefinger. Okay.
Yeah. Stink finger's a bit of a, he's a bit of a pedo. Like, he's a lot of a pedo,
Hmm.
and the story's okay with that.
Well,
Well,
the story's okay with a lot of things.
Yeah.
he didn't even do anything though. Look at Marjorie. She literally seduced a little boy.
Marjorie, who's Marjorie?
What?
Who's
Marjorie
Marjorie?
Tyrell.
What?
Do you even watch the show?
Marjorie Tyrell. You got to remind me who. Like, I don't fucking memorize the names of the characters. I got better things
Yeah.
to do with my brain cells.
The slew that has been like banging every king trying to be clean.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, the one that died.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she got
Yeah.
vaporized.
Yeah,
Yeah. The one who actually married a young boy.
yeah. I don't know. The
Yeah, but
casting,
before they were
casting
even
age
married,
fucking
she snuck into his room and seduced him like
Yeah.
pervy style.
That's
Like if the
fucking
if
wrong.
casting.
the if the sex roles were reversed, that scene would not fly on TV.
Right.
Have you noticed something that casting has an obsession with bulgy-eyed girls?
Yeah. That's
Like,
my
that
fetish, by the
casting
way.
guy needs to fucking get a grip on, like, ET was not an attractive hot old lady when he was in the Elliot's basket.
Right.
That was ET. That was not a chick wearing lipstick and a fucking wig. Like,
Yeah. Well,
holy
I don't find her
shit,
attractive
man.
either, to be honest.
Yeah, she was creepy, weird looking, and like
Yeah.
she's hot, but my God, she's like all of 4 foot. She's tiny,
Oh yeah.
which is weird. Like, she's standing on a step and Tyrion's standing there. He's a dwarf, and they're almost eye to eye. That would have been an uncomfortable scene for her. Don't mind small girls. They like sex. They're always sex maniacs because they get a lot of pleasure out of sex because every dick's big for them. So most small girls are sex maniacs. Just a bit
You
of advice
know
for
who
you.
the hottest chick is in in that show?
Well,
Arya
for
Stark.
me, it's who?
Arya Stark.
Ew,
You mean Sansa Stark?
No, Arya Stark.
ew. That's, you think she's the hottest girl in that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Emilia Clarke is 5'2", which is still pretty short, but it's not that short.
Well, she's tiny. She doesn't mind getting her baps out. No, I like Cersei Lannister, man. I reckon she's smoking for me. She didn't actually do that. That walk of shame. That's not her. It's not her body. She
Isn't it?
refused to do. Nah, she refused to do it under contract because she didn't want a kid seeing her naked.
Uh,
Yeah.
Still fab to it though.
Yeah. I like Daenerys doesn't mind getting naked. She's pretty hot. She's a hot little number. But she has a very large mouth. I should probably show you guys my my edits of all the characters in Game of Thrones because I actually augment all their features. I turn them all into caricatures. I don't draw them. I just use Photoshop and I shrink their faces and enlarge their foreheads and their mouths and overly exemplify. A few of them went viral on bloody Imager, I think. I just let stuff go. I don't much follow it or care, but I did this one of Daenerys and I got a lot of likes. Like people just went, "Holy fuck!" Because I just did her mouth massive, and I did like Tyrion. Tyrion's got like I don't know. His forehead is just insane. It's like you could park the fucking shuttle on his forehead.
Yeah.
But he's got like this droopy-eyed look about him, so I just twisted his eyes that extra few degrees, so it looks like his eyes are like dripping down his face.
Yeah, he looks like a dwarven version of Hugh Laurie. I mean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he certainly doesn't look like the happiest chap. He looks
No.
like he's perpetually sad.
Well.
So why are you so sad, you little guy? But
Yeah,
Dwarf,
that's like that was their best casting choice in my opinion. Was him.
yeah, dwarf dudes do pretty well with the ladies apparently on the sly.
Really?
Oh yeah. It's like the guy from Austin Powers. Like he said, women, I've got to actually beat them away with a stick. They just, I'm like a baby that they can have sex with. They're obsessed with me.
Yeah. Speaking of pedos.
I've always wanted to bang a dwarf.
Yeah, I don't know.
I've never met a dwarf in real life.
I'm
It's
a
yet
bit
to
creeped
happen.
out by where all that dick would be going because it'd be like going past their belly button. I'm like, fucking hell, like,
Right.
where's it all going?
That's the fun part.
That's creepy weird for me.
Yeah. Well, on that note, I got to get out of here, guys. Like people are waking up, and I need to go to bed. So
The sun's coming up. Yeah,
yeah.
the
Well, it's not
vampirism is telling you that you're gonna fucking burn to death. We know that.
right. Like I don't know. The sun's not coming up yet, but I can hear people like driving past my apartment. So
Yeah, the birds are
everybody's on
telling
the way.
you. Actually, it should be the
Yeah.
birds,
Well,
shouldn't it?
I don't hear any birds. They've all migrated south. So
Oh,
They're
that's
hanging
a
out by
concept.
my house.
That's a foreign concept to me.
yeah. Well, if you ever do come to New York, like if you come, you don't want to come during the winter, man, because
Oh, I've done that. Yeah,
yeah, it
I
gets
just
pretty
never
bad.
noticed it.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
that shit, that evil white shit that you've got to shovel out of your driveway. Yeah.
yeah. Well, especially here, it's all like lake effect stuff, so it's really heavy type shit. So, but it's pretty hit or miss. You either get dumped on or you don't. So, but yeah, I gotta go, guys. I'll be seeing you around.
Yeah.
All right, later, Ed.
All right,
Oh, don't be a
take it.
stranger, mate. Thanks
Good
for
talking
hanging.
to you.
Yeah, sure.
Catch ya. Yeah, upstate New York. Fuck. Memories.
I also have to go to sleep.
Yeah, you should go to sleep, man. It's like the AM, and I can shut the hangout down, and I can go to sleep too.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to leave it running with none of us here. I could leave it running, and people could listen to me snore if they like. It's not like no one's heard me snore before.
Oh yeah. You could put on some stock Google fucking music. Some terrible music that you're allowed to use.
Ew. That sounds really bad. Yeah, I could put on like 10 hours of freaking ocean scenery with the sound. Or the ISS live stream, which was something that all these channels never think to do. Because ISS live stream is pretty fucking cool.
It's all right.
Yeah, hours of CGI, endless automated CGI.
I wish they had the right cameras so you could see the lights at night. Or maybe it's just I always see it when it's flying over ocean or something. I don't know. I can never fucking see cities though. Pisses me off.
No, it's those cameras aren't good enough. They're only shitty. Like they're not even GoPro. Like they're not very good cameras because the photo sensors get damaged, so they just use cheap shit cameras. They have to replace them like really often. I've seen the photo sensors get destroyed actually once. It started just tearing, and you can see this huge freaking artifact appear, and it was like, oh crap, look at this, and it started quantizing, like doing the screen rollover, going flicker, 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 and it was like, oh shit, that camera's dead. They're like, oh, we'll be back shortly, and they had to turn it off for like, and they didn't replace it for like 2 months. The cunts. They're pretty lazy on the ISS, man. They just must sit around playing poker and shit all day. Going, yep, we're astronauts. Yeah, we're astronauts. I'm an astronaut. Rah, we're astronauts. Be the astronaut. Aliens, pew, pew, pew. Anyway, man, get some sleep.
Already.
This for Danya. Arrivederci. Or Auf Wiedersehen.
Arrivederci.
Arrivederci. Sayonara. Spokojnej noci. Good night. Guten Tagen. Guten Nächten, I should say.
You gotta fix my permissions. I can't mod anyone.
Oh, in the discussions thing.
Yeah, I tried to mod myself. You click the little dots. There's nothing
There you
there.
go.
But
You can stop complaining now.
there's nothing but pop up and view users.
There you go. Can you view users?
Only if they chat. If they don't chat, you don't see shit. Which is weird.
View active users. Active in chat. Oh, it's only active users in the last 5 minutes. I never knew about that. Holy crap. Well, that's our first crack. So maybe next time.